What's going on, everybody? It's the season finale. It's the season finale of New York Football Talk. Yes, it is just me. My co-hosts are running a bit late, but it's okay. It's okay. They will be here. Jared Valluzzi will be here. E, cross your fingers. E likes to take a PTO. E likes to take an unexpected PTO, but there's no way he's missing the season finale. So he's gonna be right here. Man, it's crazy that we're finally here at the season finale. I mean, to be honest with you guys, I can't remember how many episodes exactly we've done this year. Maybe 10, maybe about 12. So it's super exciting. I already see a three-time champion in the chat, Amir Morrow. Absolutely, an absolute salute to you. You guys cannot tell, I'm a bit under the weather. I mean, I literally commentated 4 games this weekend. Commentated 4 games this weekend. So we're gonna do our best out here. There's another three-time PSAL champion in the chat. Deli, salute to you. We're gonna talk about you guys, and we have some guests that know a whole lot about you guys, of course. Um, we got a PSAL champion, a two-time PSAL champion, if I'm not mistaken. My guy Rel. Oh man, he late, fast me late, but it's all good. Jerry, you can hear me?
Yeah, I got you, bro. You got me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up, man? We coming in a little hot, but it's all good. What's going on?
Yeah, man.
Champions are in the building.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got the chat popping already.
Building. Listen, let's get into it, man, because we have a very, very special guest here.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you can hear me in the backstage. Put a thumbs up if you're ready to go before I add you in. Yeah, I see that. All right, guys. So let's get right to it. We
Chance.
are introducing a 7-time PSAL champion. The get back is complete. What they call it, the E-Hall Invitational is back, and whatever. All the jokes, everything has been said online. It's none other than Coach Danny Lambert. What's going on, Coach? Can you hear us?
How we
Hey,
doing?
fellas, how you doing?
Listen, man. I'm tired. I'm not going. You're probably tired too. I mean, preparing for the game
Yeah,
and everything like that.
man.
Coach, you can hear us, Coach?
Yeah, we got him.
Hey, sorry, tired. Can you hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you, man. So
Yeah, sorry. Very, very tired. Very tired. Had a bad cold on Thanksgiving. Just exhausted. Probably some of it was just like stress and lack of sleep, and the flu was going around and stuff. But I'm glad it's over.
See, Coach, I got my cup of tea. You know how I do over here, man. We
Right.
struggle in a bit, but we got to do it for the people, man. So again, I just want to give you a huge congratulations and huge flowers. I mean, I feel like everyone has asked you this question, but of course, I have to ask you the question. When the clock hits 0, championship number 7, win number 202. Is it as good as the first one?
I told the team, listen, nothing will be as good as the first one in the sense that you fought so long to get that first one. And it's a special moment because you were chasing that your whole life. Um, Everything after that has different special meanings to it. And I told the team on this occasion, that this one was the most special in the sense that these kids went out and really worked and earned it, and were not supposed to quote unquote win it as an underdog. I was hearing that we were a 6.5 point underdog, which made me happy, but they stuck. See, a year ago, when we went to the championship, all year after we lost to Curtis the first time, I was very concerned that they let their emotions get the best of them. That's where controlled savagery began, because emotions took them out of the game, took them out of both games actually, and that's when penalties occurred. Going into this game, we spent so much time in putting together that whole controlled savagery, mantra as far as learning how to be. And the fact that these kids who are just such tough and amazing athletes and great football players and, just aggressive, just to finally buy into what we were trying to get across. And it was very special to watch this team grow to become men, in essence, men.
Listen, coach, you talked about it. You come into this game, 6 point, 2.5, whoever you want to say it. In my let's just talk about me. Yes, I did believe that you guys were the underdogs. I think Tottenville earned that right, being an undefeated team. You can correct me. I'm not sure in this run of, let's just call this run of 6 years, if you guys have come into a one of these championship games as not as the one seed. Obviously not, because you haven't lost a game in 5 years, right? So you haven't come in. So this is the first time coming in as people in the city saying that you guys are the underdogs. And to be honest, as I've watched you guys, this E-Hall team really had to grow into the season. You had your heavy focus on Justice Murray and the run game last season. You move him to wide receiver. Kendu Brown has to come in and get the reins completely. Amir Monroe gets a little knock. So now you need to ask other players to step up. Jair Lewis, we'll talk about him and how tremendous he was. So just talk about that, the different almost point of view that you haven't seen in a long time coming into a championship game.
It's funny. I also told the team, I told them before the game that, when we play a big game and we've lost a big game, and it happens to every one of us, I hate losing more than I enjoy winning. And when you lose a game of great magnitude, it's just really hard to go home and not let it be on your mind when you're alone, and it eats away at you. I remember my first championship appearance in 2011, and we lost to Lincoln, who lost the year before to Fort Hamilton. So they were on a grind tour for losing the year before to Fort Hamilton, and they beat us 20-12. I remember that year I was just in such a bad place that that's the only thing that was on my mind. It was just just tunnel vision beyond the definition can provide. And then we won in 2012 going into that next year. I would say what happened this year, which was very weird for me, is that when we lost the game at Tottenville, where the spike, you could say, in that last play on the 3-yard line, I actually, believe it or not, which is crazy to say, I walked out of that field in a good mood. I walked out of that place in a good mood. Now, Tondale's great. Their players are great. Their coaching's really good. They're all solid. They're great. But I just felt I walked out of that place saying to myself, you know what? I think we could be better. I think we should win this game. I think that we're going to be okay. And I felt good knowing that if we could just rope these guys in to buy into what we're talking about, to the controlled savagery, and the attention span, as best as you can be. I think that I said we think we could win it handily, and I'm happy to say that these kids did everything they were asked to do.
And coach, just before I have Jared come in, I'll ask this one, and then I'll throw it to Jared. Get your 200th win, get championship number 7. Just how special is that to you? Just describe that.
I am a PSAL lifer, right? And when I was growing up, I'll tell you the truth. I went to Midwood High School because of my older brothers who were the stars in those years. I went to watch them at Midwood Field, and I went to watch the city championships back in the day. I'm not going to say what year those were. But I remember being at the field and watching a high school football game, and I felt like, holy moly, look at these guys are stars. This place is crowded. It looks like an NFL stadium to a little kid. And I was just so enamored by that. It was just amazing to me. And that back then it was always about Al Paterzo and Wagner High School, who won 6 championships. He was the leader of coaches who won the most championships in New York City. And you had JFK High School in the Bronx, which I coached for and learned a lot from for a short time. Those were the teams, right? And then when I became a head coach, I wanted to emulate these people and emulate their traditions and become something big. I never had any idea it was going to be this big, but being able to uh, accomplish those numbers on a personal level to me is very satisfying to me on a personal level. Um, so I'm just feeling very grateful about that, and I know how hard we all work, and I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful.
Jared, I lied to you. Can I get one more?
Dude, go for it,
This
man. Yeah.
triggered something in my mind.
Yeah, man,
Coach,
definitely.
do you mind if I give out one of your secrets, man?
Mine?
Your key to success. I'm gonna let the people know. Is that okay?
If you think you got it, go ahead. If you think you know.
Coach, we've spoken about it. You can let me know if I'm wrong, but it's a C word. It's culture.
Yes. I've had this conversation with you before. You know, when you become a head coach, a lot of it is an egotistical way. We all want to be head coaches. Everyone wants to be a head coach, and it's really ego driven. And you still want to be involved in calling plays or running a defense, such and such. But I don't think enough people in general, generally speaking, spend enough time understanding what it means to be a great head coach. And I've kind of wanted to delve myself into trying to learn how to be that. And it wasn't until I met Urban Meyer at Ohio State and he taught me about culture. That's when I kind of felt like things turned to another level for us as far as, the plus two mentality, winning at everything. Every man is accounted for towards the other guy. The third string, the fourth string guys, we don't even say third string. We show them respect. They're like Charlies and Deltas. We how everybody it matters, and putting together young men and making them understand that if you truly want to win, if I could share this as something, if you truly want to win, you can't make it about yourself. You can't make it about football. You got to take it further into the kids' lives because they feed into that and they know who you are. They know who wants to win, but they also know who wants them to win for their life. And that's what it really comes down to. That's where culture then takes care of itself because because everybody takes care of each other from that. And that's what culture is.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to bring it up because as I had the pleasure of getting closer to the Erasmus Hall program, and in some of our earlier conversations, I've asked you, I'm like, Coach, like, let me know, like, how do you do it? And you've used that word culture, and then partly in my head, any humble guy talks about culture. He doesn't want to tell me about the X's and O's and stuff like that. But as I've gotten closer to the program and I've seen the alumni coming back and how you've spoken about how important the alumni are for you, and seeing some of the guys from last year cheering on the current players and the generations of E-Hall players that are now there, I really got it. Like Sunday, I was like, this is what coach has been talking about. And it's really the key. And doesn't matter if we say it out loud. Doesn't matter if Danny writes a book about it. It's something that needs to be built from the ground level. And you came into this program at the ground level. So definitely want to give you
Yeah.
for that, coach.
Thank you very much, man. It's humbling. Thank you.
Jared.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's really, really special stuff. And speaking of that culture and something that you mentioned a little bit with the controlled savagery, motto, like, because when I was watching your guys' defense, like throughout the Tottenville game and throughout the year, I was like, this is one of the most physical, ferocious defenses, and also the discipline factor of it too. So if you could just talk about that a little bit, it'd be great.
So, when we played the non-league games, it's people don't understand how hard it is, at least it is for us, about how to get your S together, your together. And
Mhm.
it's a process. And our system, offense, defense, what have you have it, specials, it's very intricate, it's very technical, and there's a lot that goes into it that commands you to think. And when you take a bunch of kids who just play football and you're trying to make them slow down, but not slow down and think at the same time. I mean, you look at a kid like Zaire Walden, or you look at a kid like Kendall, Brown. I mean, these are killers, you know? And when you have killers like that and you try to somewhat tame them so much to not just you're not asking to not be a killer, you're asking to be a killer with condition.
Yeah.
And when you ask them under conditions, then that's something for them to have to learn. So we would, because of the penalties factor, and I mean, we played Tottenville the first time. I can't tell you how many penalties brought us back,
Yeah.
here or there on the field. And I literally took my team and I made them stand in the end zone, and we walked 100 yards to the end zone. We walked 100 yards back to the other side of the end zone, and we walked another 30 yards. And I said, that's how many yards we gave up in penalty.
Mm.
And I said, from there on in, I said, okay, what would I do as a head coach to make things better? And most people as head coaches will say, or coaches in general will say, when you yell at them, yo, why isn't he doing what I told him to do? And they'll say, coach, but I told him to do this and he's not listening. And my answer always has been, well, then what makes you a great coach?
Mm.
So now the discipline factor comes into place, and it's kind of like my responsibility. So I started building in periods into the practice plan to work on our discipline, whether it's all together as one or by position, and go over those things that we were constantly doing over and over again that were causing those penalties, and just really making that become an issue and just really talking about it. Just like when you go to therapy, we talk about penalties, the same thing.
Yeah,
That's
no, it was
that's culture.
mhm.
That's culture.
Exactly. Yeah, it was super evident, and like for these seniors to end out their career like this, it's super special. But like, it was a different path than some of your guys who were on like the 5 peat, because lost to Curtis, obviously, like that was their last Filling championship game. Lost to Tottenville in the regular season this year. So to kind of overcome that and beat those two teams, I mean, does it get much better than that for them?
No, it really doesn't, because we take these teams really seriously, right? Because these are great programs. I mean, those guys do a good
Mhm.
job in their own way. Tottenville and Curtis and so forth. They all do a great job, and they all, they kind of come from the same world that we're talking about as far as programs and culture. So yeah, so I think for us, it's really staying in the moment. I was blessed to have a group of kids who have been together or played against each other their whole lives, right? And a lot of them even play with my own son. So we knew each other. We all knew each other for a long time. We're going back to COVID, even maybe even before COVID. That's how long
Mhm.
we know. A lot of us know each other, or they know each other, and they've just been you have cliques on teams. Like our team has
Yeah.
been one big clique, and these seniors were very close, and they know each other through and throughout. And they never really would like get into fights, so like on a personal level as a senior, because they really just knew each other so well, and they didn't take each
Mhm.
other seriously because they actually knew who they were.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned, because you mentioned like the atmosphere at Midwood. Like I've been to a bunch of championships. Like I thought it was great, and just to do it there again and win the championship in that like environment. Like what were the emotions like, just to get it done in front of like that type of big crowd again?
Like I said, for me, I played at Midwood, and I grew up at Midwood, and I went to Midwood because of the field. And I know everyone likes Yankee Stadium, and we've been there, 8 times as well. But for me, I just needed. We already won one in 2023 at Midwood, but for me, it doesn't get old. So it's nostalgic for me to win the city championship at Midwood Field, just like a kid in a candy store when I was a kid. It was just very special. I enjoyed watching the crowd. I was concerned that the people wouldn't come out as much because of the rain, but it turned out to be a great crowd. I watched the game
That's
before us with Bryant and boys and girls. I mean, especially Bryant. They had a great turnout crowd. I was really proud of them
Mhm.
for them as well. I just think it was just a nice day for the PSAL.
Yeah, definitely.
And coach, so let's break down the game together. If you guys watch, if you tune in,
Yeah, let's
we're
do
gonna
it.
kind of break it down just the way we usually do it. And this time we have a special guest, and we're gonna bounce questions off of you. So the first thing I want to talk about, I think one of the keys in this game was definitely the field position battle. Tottenville, they've lived off of their onside kicks, and they wanted to exploit that again. But you guys were more than prepared for it. So you know their special teams have been great all year. They open up with a kickoff return. Tyshawn Bent, we're gonna have a special section for Tyshawn Bent, how great he's been all year long. You don't have to give away all your secrets, but how did you guys approach how good they've been with onside kicks, and you guys capitalized on it all day?
Like I said before, like ultimately, y- you know, we have to be great at everything, and you know, we do we do a really good job too. And I mean, you might not notice it as much because we don't do as much onside kicks as they do, but we didn't do a great job on kickoff this year. I could say that much. But from dealing with kick returns in particular, like I made it okay. How can I use that against them as far as the things that they try to do? Obviously, I'm not going to explain myself on that, but like you know. I was teaching the kids about how to field. I had them watch baseball catchers
Mm.
um, in a video, and we would go over those drills and how to be technical about how to field the ball. We would try to give them an idea as far as what they're trying to do and where they're trying to place the ball, whether it's a squib, it's an onside, it's a pooch, it's a deep, and not let them have an idea where we're, how we're going to handle it. So we just spend as much time as you would in anything else. It's 9 units on the field, so we have to prepare for that as well. And I think that our kids really stepped up and understand what was being asked of them, and they really came through. I was proud of them for that as well. That was a big deal for us.
And I've been talking about your linebackers all year long. Zaire Walden, Kendall Brown, Nazir Brown, and Brandon Garcia. And the player that really stood out to me, I don't want to put someone over another one. Of course, you would never do that. But listen, I can only call it as I see it. Zaire Walden was just incredible. He's one of those players you're watching, from my vantage point, you're watching and you're like, what are you doing there kind of player? I'm like how are you here? Wait, you're on the left side of formation. You make an attack on the right side of formation. You're chasing
Right.
people down 10 yards on the field, preventing a touchdown. I'm like, he's all over the place. So just talk about him and your, his journey at E-Hall.
So I really felt going to the season that our linebacker unit was going to be the best. At least to me, it was best unit we were going to have on the team. And when you saw Zaire lift in the offseason, I can't tell you, I've never had a guy that was a not lineman. He did a bench test once for 250 for 15 times. I think his max calculated out to a bench of 350. And it was just amazing to watch how strong this kid was. I mean, he's a naturally strong bull. He is a straight bull. And watching him hit, he just doesn't care. He doesn't care. And that's part of the thing of roping him in with the discipline, stuff like that. But he will go down for pound, one of the toughest kids I've ever had. Um, Nazir Brown, brother of Andre Hines, who went to Boston College from us, a legacy player for us, which is always important to me. Um, he's been with us on varsity since he's a freshman. He's played as a freshman. Um, and he just understands the system, right? And he has a guy, we have another guy, Chase Sinclair, that comes into him, who's kind of like the same exact guy, really intelligent, who's only a sophomore that understands already the system. So, these guys are giving each other time to play if somebody's getting banged up or needs a break, and they're all learning things and coming together as one. And you look at Kendall Brown. I mean, Kendall Brown's also a guy. He's a 3-year varsity football player, and he's just been around the system once again for a long time. That it does take a lot of time for at Erasmus for you to really learn the position, whatever that position might be. And the process really, they say, you have to trust the process. The process really is a big deal for us. Like it really means something for us. Like you really have to trust the process. Because we've had parents that say, well, why is my son playing? Listen, your son hasn't arrived yet with his process, and everyone's process is different. Those guys, the process arrived for all of them.
Yeah, and we can't forget about Brandon Garcia. I feel like he's been such a good addition, to the team. I know this is his first and only year with the team. And I remember, I think it was the Curtis game. I saw him lining up at corner. I was like, what's he doing at corner? Then he just threw a wide receiver out the way and made a tackle. So he's been really versatile. So talk about how he's contributed.
Yeah, he had a long fix to come in and try to understand the system as well. It wasn't an easy job for him. When he finally got it, he started making plays when it mattered the most.
Yeah.
And I'm real proud of him the way he really fought through adversity to understand our defense to be able to come through in the biggest stage that mattered the most. And also we had Brandon Cochran, another guy who shared the position with him as well, who also did a great job. Was only a sophomore, and once again went through the process, is going through the process, and we're expecting big things from him as well in the future.
And of course, can't forget Kendall Brown, another player that's been with you for quite a few years. And honestly, I didn't have to line up against Kendall Brown, and I'm very happy I didn't have to line up against him because that he was bringing the boom every single time, every single hit. He really felt like the tone setter, and he really is you just see it like he's such a leader on this team. So of course you got to talk about Deli, man.
Well, see, look, Delhi had a late hit that goes against the controlled savagery, right?
Here we get
Oh
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he
Telly, I know you
and
meant
he did it.
that.
He knows, and he did it versus them the first time at their field. And it's one of those things that he knows I'm about to just scream at him about it. But he looked at me. He looked at me. I know. He got it. He got it. And I didn't have to say anything. We just moved on. He knew. He knew. But it's really tough, fine line to not go over that cliff. But he actually is the unsung MVP of our team because he's on every team. He's on kickoff. He's on return. He's on punt. He's on extra point. He's on defense. He's on everything. And I can't. He doesn't get a break. So you go out in the field and you open up the game and you want to talk about the game as far as the kickoff. He's on the kickoff team. Touchdown comes back. He's on the return team. We're going for the ball again. We now score. He's back on kickoff again. Now they're on offense. Now he comes back on defense. He doesn't come off the field. So it's busy. He's a busy man for us. He's the unsung MVP from the program.
So, Jared, I'll stick with the defense. I'll let you have fun. You can talk about the offense, Jared.
The offense? Oh, you better ask about that. About that secondary though, because that definitely changed. Hmm?
Yeah, you can talk about the secondary. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, just because like I mean we're on the subject of defense, and I thought it was so important in this game because the first time Justin McGuire had a great day passing. He's a phenomenal quarterback, and in the first half against Curtis for you guys, like your secondary, it wasn't your total A game, but for the most part in the championship game, secondary was great. Justin was running trying to find guys, and I think a big credit was because your guys did a great job in coverage. So yeah, I mean, how big were they? You think in the championship?
I mean, look, you can go back to last year's city championship, and we had 4 picks in the first half, and we lost the game. In Curtis, we dropped a bunch of picks that we we didn't drop. It's one of those things where like things happen, and guys got to pick each other up, and I think that is really what it comes down to being a championship team. If something is down, someone else picks you up, right? And that
Mhm.
goes with coaching and families and life and in general. And I think that's one of the things that goes on for us. They played a good game, right?
Yeah, they
They
did.
were solid all the way through in this game. We lost David Jacob early in the game. He actually broke his ankle, just a chip, but he'll be
Mhm.
fine. But we lost him early. Kim Martin was playing with a broken finger,
Wow.
where it was hard for him to tackle, and he lost that. That happened to him in the Wagner game. And Logan Clark Durant, he is just coming off of a heel that he got hurt in the first Tottenville game. So he just came back a week ago. So it's
Wow.
been really kind of like we have not been healthy all year long. We got healthy about a week ago. That's the truth.
Wow.
The only person we never got back was Vic for the year, but everyone
Mhm.
else went through something this year. And I mean everybody.
Yeah.
Whether it was Amir, whether it was Jair, you name it. Everybody was banged up at some point in the season.
Yeah, and you guys were able to find a way through it, which is fantastic. And speaking of Amir and Jair on offense, and you guys were clicking just all season long, and in this game, it felt like because obviously Just had his big plays, but Kendu, Amir, Jair, it felt like everyone was contributing a ton. So what was working well on that side of the ball, you think?
You know what? It really was a committee, and everybody had a piece of the pie, and everybody was doing something special. I have to say though, like Jair Lewis, who's the younger brother of JoJo Andrews, who plays at Bowling Green, the younger brother of Zaire Andrews, the starting running back from the 2022 championship team, who also went to Bowling Green. This kid comes in a year ago. He's the third string running back. Definitely had a problem with running high and holding onto the ball. And out of this offseason, the way he trained and the way he trained when we weren't watching him train took him to a different level that I never saw coming.
Wow.
And very rarely do you see a guy like that step up the way he did and play as amazing as he did, because he was amazing this year. And you know what? Rightfully so. He earned himself a Division I scholarship.
Wow.
As far as the other guys are concerned, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Amir was a guy. He was going through some stuff right down through the season. It happened the first game of the year at Cardinal Hayes. He was actually in camp. We had some issues. So I'm very protective about my players' injuries because it cost me a city championship years ago. So I kind of,
Mhm.
if you would say baby them, I do baby them, so to speak, because you want them when it matters the most. And kind of feel like we know what we're doing at this point because everybody got healthy when we needed them to be healthy. So Amir was battling the knee, and some other things as well. And Jair and him were taking turns being hurt, which kind of stunk. And then we had another, the third guy, Rashard Dobbins stepped up, and those guys, it's just a committee and they did a great job. You spring about can do. I'm like, listen, talk about someone trusting the process there as well, right? A guy
Yeah.
that wasn't even playing in the game last year and steps up, and was doing more than you could ever expect anything from somebody to, quite honestly, a candidate for MVP of New York City, right? So, how much can I explain more than just with that statement?
Yeah, he was a difference maker all season long. And I saw someone in the chat ask about this, and honestly, I'll ask about it too because I thought up front, I think you guys won in the trenches. So the offensive line, playing well. Yeah, what'd you see from them?
We we didn't have a great offensive line a year ago, and we were very concerned about it going into this season. I would say about a week or two ago, they started to really get it.
Mhm.
And people don't notice these things because you're not there to assess or evaluate your own team. It's like one of those things where messed up and someone says nothing's wrong with you, but you know, you look at your own team and you see the mistakes and the blemishes that people don't see. And then about a week ago, in practice, it just started to click, and those guys were just off and running, and they started playing their better games right away. And yes, they became a big part of the program when it mattered the most.
And something someone I do just want to give a huge shout out to personally is number 55 Charles Tinglin, honestly. And people will say, why are you bringing this up? His snaps were excellent, and that's clearly something that we cannot take for granted. I think that this was a game where you know Tottenville had some bad snaps at very opportune times at some third downs, on some fourth downs, and we can't take that for granted. And also, on the first Justice Murray touchdown when he was at quarterback, Bobble made a great block, and he ran right off him on that play. So talk about him. And of course, you already spoke about the offensive line, but just talk about his growth as a player, because he's been a player that's played multiple positions on his offensive line.
Oh, once again, like Bobble's a special kid. He's a special player. I know Dad a really long time. Um, People don't know Bobble tore his labrum in the city championship in 2023, right?
Wow.
And he tore it again this year, the other shoulder. Okay. And he played with it the whole year. And going into the semifinals, he actually twisted his ankle playing volleyball in gym. We couldn't
Oh,
walk.
no.
So of course,
It happens so much to people. It's
so
crazy.
so so of course I go crazy. And of course I become, motherly, fatherly as I'm making sure he's getting all the therapy in the world and all the help in the world. And he's playing with this pain no matter what. And even I would have to I would get upset, but like at the same time, no one has any clue what that young man had to deal with physically to get through the season for his team. And once again, that's culture. He didn't have to. He could have been selfish. He could have done whatever he wanted to do, but he did not want to let his team down, and he stuck it out all the way through.
No, that's incredible. You know, we have to talk about Tottenville, of course. It has to be, it's clearly just a really tough day for them. Of course, they had the undefeated season, didn't even lose any non-league games. They finally get over the hump, get their win over you guys. Haven't gotten that win in 5+ years. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys have knocked them out of the playoffs quite a few times. So they finally get that win. They beat Curtis on a humongous stage. They beat Lincoln twice. And unfortunately, they fall a bit short in this game. And man, number one, Sean Ben. I wish I knew his middle name. I put his whole government out.
Yeah.
Sean Ben. I mean, that performance, he really, like, you talk about putting your team on your back. I mean, he was really doing it. Tottenville, they were reeling a bit. After his kick return, they couldn't really get much going on offense. They didn't complete a pass until like a minute left in the first half. you have gone up against Tyshawn for 4 years now, having to game plan around him, and he still gets 100 yards per game. How special of a player is Tyshawn Bent through your eyes, Coach Lambert?
You know what? I've seen them all. You know, I've been around them all, and way more than I can imagine. He could have played back in the day. See, like what I always say was this: was when I was growing up. When I was growing up, the players were tougher. We didn't have therapy. You were scared to show your coach you were hurt, right? You had to earn water. You know, I would say today's players are more athletic. They're more skilled, right? Today, that kid could have played in any era that there is. He's a special player. He's always been a special player. And even when I went back to watch the kickoff versus them, and we've given up blunders on kickoffs before, it wasn't even a crazy hole that we gave up as far as, the guys staying in their lanes. He took it and he popped it and he just went and he wasn't to be denied. I think the greatest attribute that I find with him is his yards after contact.
Yeah.
And I think that his ability to be his body size, his width size, his height is very compact. He reminds me of a player of mine, like the two of them, Corey and him. They're the best tandem I've seen since my two, Curtis Samuel and Khalil Lewin, who both had 1,400 yards in 2013. Um, so yes, very special. I actually was always saying to myself, I would watch him every game to see how many carries he would get. And I was astonished that every single year I said, "How's this kid not hurt? How's this kid not hurt? He lasts through everything." And I tip my hat to him. I just is we just you just got to be able to contain him. Not you can't stop him, so to speak.
Yeah, and we have to talk about quarterback Justin McGuire. If we say it's like him and Ken Do really have been just such a pleasure to watch the two of them where they were last season to where they are now. I mean, you talk about you can say anyone, of course, Guzman is incredible. Iona Prep and Moy is incredible at Farrell, and I'm sure there's some guys upstate who have been good as well. But the play of Justin McGuire has just been so good this year, and I feel like that's really what has what made Tottenville take that next step this season was their ability not only to run the ball but to pass the ball, and then he started adding those QB powers, how he's able to extend plays. You also have coached against Justin McGuire over these past 4 years, and I'm sure this was almost like the final boss version of Justin McGuire. So just talk about him and what you've seen from him this year.
So I went to see him right after the game, and I wanted him to know because I didn't want him to be so upset about losing the game, which you can't control that. But like I want him to know, in my opinion, I know that Corey Brown is great. I know Tyshawn is unbelievable, but Justin McGuire was the MVP to the opponent because he was more than just handing the ball off. Right, a year ago, it was really those two, those two respectively had 179 something, 169 yards versus us.
Yeah.
You know, this year, Justin McGuire versus us in the first game, he was able to run, he was able to throw darts.
Mhm.
And I thought that was the difference. I don't care how great running backs you are. If you're one dimensional, we'll figure it out. But like he was able to do it himself. Besides them two running, he could run. And he was throwing darts and he was passing the ball really well. And he had great leadership and decision making as well. So he was unbelievable. And he's a true leader. And he should know that he should keep his head up high and how amazing a football player and how much respect that we have for him.
No, absolutely. And lastly, before I kick it to Jared, so many great photographers out there. Someone took a great shot of you and Coach Neville shaking hands, and you guys have been going at it for however many years now.
Right.
So how is it just coaching against him? And it's almost like you're always expected to see him at the end, man.
You know, people always tell me that there are rivals. You know, Tondel has been our rival. Let's just get that out the way. It's not this team. It's not that team. To me, it's been Tottenville. And it really wasn't with Neville, it was really with Jimmy Munson before him who started it. And he brought it out, brought the best out of us. And that's really where it came from. And from there, it actually should be honestly, they should make a movie about it because you have all these kids, even with the Curtis Samuel years and Jimmy Munson's son James and all those kids and Neville coaching those teams too. We were all a part of these two teams who have nothing in common, and then we came together and played these games, and it was great football players playing great football and great minds coaching and chess and drama, and it always went to the end no matter what we did. And Neville's a part of it because he came from it and he understands it. Just like, so when Munson leaves and Neville takes over, it's everything is the same exact thing. So it's a respectful rivalry. I'm just gonna give him a call at some point. I want it. I told him after the game, I'm like, I'd love you to win, just obviously not in my time, but I would love to see you win a championship. I would love to see you win a championship because I know he's a great coach. I know how hard he works. I know he cares about his kids. But the Rasmus Tottenville rivalry is one for the movies, I would say.
Yeah. No, it really is. Like just some of these games, you guys have played some just instant classics.
Amazing, amazing
Yeah, with
games. You,
Toddville.
you know, like there was a kid, Alvin Cornelius, for them, was a big deal for them. And he played against Wayne Morgan when Wayne Morgan played for me. And they
Mhm.
were together and they became roommates in college at Syracuse. And they were
Wow.
at the game taking a picture together after the game. Like this, our alumni and their alumni, there's just so much respect. There's just so much respect for the wars that we put each other in. It's honestly like you're looking at, like, I don't know if it's kinda like Tommy Hearns and Marvin Hagler, just as one of those things like you see each other years after that. It's just all love.
Yeah, no, it's like it's very, very evident. Seeing the alumni come back and watch the games and cheer you on, it's really awesome. And honestly, obviously after Tottenville returned the opening kick, there's a long game ahead, but like the environment was going crazy. Like that's probably the last thing you wanted to happen to start the game. But how are you guys able to, I guess, kind of get over like that little hump in the beginning?
Well, first thing I said, oh shoot, that sucks. Like I see this coming down the line. Oh man, here we go, here we go. And, that was a big concern for me. Being the kickoff right then and there. What? Listen, this is gonna sound. I don't know how this is gonna sound. Um, well, you've been doing this for so long, and you just you just know how to win. I'm not saying we knew we were gonna win, but I'm like,
Mhm.
there's a certain point in programs where whether you win or not, you just know how to win in adverse situations,
Yeah.
and it's not thing that we have not seen before or suffered from or have learned how to react to. So I believe the way that we train and teach and train the mind, that I want them to always think that we're never down, no matter what. We're never down, and our players kind of understand that through the hard work that we give them with the +2 mentality.
Gotcha.
Yeah, coach. So we'll let you get going. I know, yeah, you probably want to enjoy the rest of your night. Maybe you're not done partying after number seven. You know what I'm saying? We'll let you to get back to it. Um, but we're definitely in a different environment when it comes to the PSAL. I feel like the PSAL has a ton of momentum. Whether you are a Dutchman fan, you want to see them win. If you're a Dutchman hater, you want to see them lose. If you love Tottenville, if you love Lincoln, I feel like with the added media that has joined the scene, and of course social media has exploded throughout your coaching career, and I'm sure you've had to navigate that. Just talk about. I know it's all about the Dutchman. It's all about Ehall. That's your main focus. I know that, coach. But when you look at the landscape, do you feel like things are moving in the right direction?
Couldn't be more prouder of what you guys have done, because without you, there wasn't anything going on, right? And I also want to tip my hat to a lot of the programs that are out there today that are picking up their own programs and doing big things and really starting to jump into worrying about how to build a team. Like you have your Curtises and you have your Tottenhamvilles and you have your Lincolns and you see South Shore and you see Eagle and you see Sheepshead Bay and you see AP Randolph and even JFK. I mean, can we give JFK some love here? I mean, those guys were giving people a fight every single week, and it was amazing to watch. And like just watching all the teams this year, I can see that football has gotten a lot better. And I think because of you guys, it's getting a lot more attention. And I think that the PSL involving you is one of the smarter things that's happened. And it's building a lot of interest. And I think that's what's most important. After, of course, Erasmus comes first. I care about the PSAL. And I want the PSAL to do well because it's our brand. For all of us who've played under the PSL as kids, it's something that we have to defend. And New York City demands it, right? And because we have to go out there, and we're trying to get our kids scholarships, and like we don't want people talking bad about New York City kids. We want everybody to get a look, and you have to defend and make sure that New York City football is getting better. And that's also tipping our hat to the youth leagues out there. We're constantly raising these kids and bringing them up and getting them ready for high schools and staying in their lives as well. So all of this is a big deal, and I think a lot of it has to do with you guys. There wasn't anything like this before. It was kind of like on a flat line and just guys playing football on the same teams. But the expansion of the other programs doing well, like the teams I just said, you guys keeping your eyes on them. Um, and I just think that overall just a beautiful thing to see that it's being left in a good place right now.
That's awesome. I really appreciate that, Coach. And the last question, like I said, of course, is all about E Hall, of course. 13 championship appearances, have the 5P, you get your get back, number 7. Just leave a message for E Hall Nation, the fans, the parents, the alumni, former players. Just leave a message for them, and just whatever you want to say to them, Coach.
I would say this is what I realized, they've done more for me than I've done for them. And when you become a coach and you start talking to kids about what they should be doing, and you're a young coach and you find yourself being a hypocrite for not doing the things that you're telling kids to do, then you start holding yourself to your own standard. You become a better man, a better father, a better friend, whatever you are, a better coach. And I am grateful that it's Erasmus football has raised me just as much as people think I raised them. So I'm grateful, and Dutchman for life, DFL.
Jared, anything else?
No, I mean, this is it was a special day yesterday, seeing you guys win. Really appreciate the kind words you gave to us. And yeah, it's only up from here for New York City football, man.
And last thing I want to say, as I'm just greedy, I guess. I saw a clip of what you said, and I feel like it's important to echo it for the young men, is that you said, don't let this be the best day of your life. And when I saw that on social media, I was like, wow, like that's a really powerful statement. I know it might be scary, and maybe the young guys listening, they might just think we're a bunch of old guys talking washed up players. Football will end one day. It will end one day, and football doesn't define.
I just need to. I'd like something to be understood. Most kids think they're going to the NFL, and they're allowed to dream that, and that's great. And I wish they all do. But even if you do make the NFL, there's pretty much a more than likely chance, almost close to 100, that even if you do make the NFL, you'll still be in your 20s when you're finished. And life still is just beginning. And I told the kid after the 2012 city championship, who was caught up in the street somewhat, and I grabbed him. I said, don't let this be the greatest day of your life. And he promised me it wouldn't, and he didn't listen, and things didn't work out for him in life, right? So I wanted to make sure I said this to this team, not to just one kid, but to everybody, to echo what I said to the kid that didn't listen to me, because if we're in this for just football, then we're doing this for all the wrong reasons. If you do want to win a football game, you make it more than just about football. You make it about life, and you'll probably win more football games because of that. But at the end of the day, we're trying to raise men here to be better men than us. Just the same way a father wants his son to be better than him. I want all these guys to be better than me in life, and that's the truth, and that's what we want for all of us. Especially if you're an educator, that's why we get into this, right? So that's really what it meant. And I just wish everybody the best on every single team. I want everybody to succeed, but just don't make it about football because that's going to end too. If you are the greatest football player in the world, you got to start thinking about why you're going to college. Don't say you're going to college and you're going to play football. You have to make use football to help you in the next point of your life. And that's just what I was trying to use and say. So that was my message.
No better way to leave it than there, Coach. Congratulations.
Appreciate you guys.
Danny Lambert of E Hall, number 7. I'll leave it right there. E Hall, Appreciate you, Coach. We'll talk.
Thanks, guys. Thanks again for all you do.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Take care.
Man. No, it was crazy, man. I hope Danny knows I picked them to win it and you didn't, but he's still on. I don't know. Nah, but I appreciate all the guys in the chat though. Like, appreciate everyone being like good sports about whoever we picked and stuff like that. It's all just for fun, so But yeah, crazy game though Sunday, man. Yesterday, wow.
Yo, I mean, listen, man. Of course, just like you say, Jared, all those picks are all those. Andre was nervous talking to the GOAT. I talk to Jared every week, bro. What are you talking
about? I like that. That's good stuff right there. I like that. I like
Coach Rudley. Listen, man. My fault. Hold on. I actually forgot to do something. I should have opened up the show with this. My fault. I'm a little sick. Hold on, let me do this. There you go. Dutchman Nation.
There it is.
Got it wrong. Congratulations.
No, after Bryant won, they were like Uzzi, because I guess they saw the episode after they beat Eagle. They went like that. With their hands out. I was like, that's great, man. That's great.
Jared, I just want to say to you, this is 2 years in a row you picked the 4A bracket correctly.
That's wow, man. I don't even think of it like that. That is pretty crazy. I'll take that. Hopefully, I get the 3-peat next year. We'll see.
Jared going for the 3-peat. Call him a Dutchman, man. Going for the back-to-back.
Next year, ooh, I'm interested to see the 4A alignment next year, man. I think it's gonna be really interesting. But that's a conversation for another time.
And shout out, I see Coach Wheeler in the chat. We spoke on the field like we always do. Just an incredible job, man. Just an incredible job all year long. And I feel like sometimes people like to point out when you quote unquote you fall short. What's the saying? It's make sure the apology is as loud as the insults or whatever it is. I probably butchered that. But yeah, just like people always want to talk about the play calling, but then when it's spot on, all of a sudden it's crickets, right? It's crickets.
Mm-hmm.
And the formations, getting, just shifting just from wide receiver, then coming in as a quarterback. I think they tried it. Well, they did it in the championship game last year as well, or when they split out Kendu. I think they showed that wrinkle in another game as well. But just getting everybody on the same page. Like, a quarterback doesn't improve that much from year to year without a great person behind him. And this is such a good point. Let me go. I said this on. They did score 30 in every single game, didn't they?
E-Hole, I think so. Yeah, they definitely did for sure. It was at least 30 every single game, man.
What was the final again? It was 32, right? Yeah.
Against Tottenham, 34-27.
34.
Yeah, they eclipsed 30 points every single game, even the non-league game against that Pennsylvania school, who won 14-1, by the way. That was a really good Pennsylvania.
14-1 they went.
They won 14-1. That was a really good team.
Shout out to a PSAL champion right here, man. That's Quincy Barnes.
Oh, yeah.
PSAL champion, man.
It was the E-Hole offense all season long. Like, they have a lot of weapons, but with what Coach Wheeler did, I feel like OCs don't get sometimes like enough credit, and they should. So it was great stuff.
So while we're waiting for our next set of guests, I know pretty sure we covered the majority of the game from last night, but again, how about you just talk about Tottenville's season from your point of view? Of course, those guys are disappointed that they're not champions, but how incredible were they all season long, Jared?
I mean, what a special year for the Pirates. Like, you look at it, like, listen, I know they came up a game short, 7 points short of, completing Hollywood type season with the senior class and how they've had they had some transfers come in, Tyshawn and Corey being one of the best it's one of the best duos I've seen during my time of covering high school football. It's something that you're gonna be like, man, I can remember, like, from years from now, it's gonna be like, man, like, remember when they had Tyshawn and Corey running around that backfield? Like, it's gonna be like things like that. And I think you hit it on the head with how well Justin McGuire played this season, really elevating Tottenville to being not only one of the best teams in the city. If you want to talk about like top 10 teams like in the state, Tottenville was certainly in that conversation throughout the year, just because of a lot of talent that they have and the defense. Man, listen, we're just praising E-Hall's offense with how great they were, but you look at what Tottenville did defensively against amazing teams like Eagle and Curtis and Lincoln and those Jersey schools. Like, they really stepped it up on that side of the ball. So it really felt like a complete team. They accomplished a lot. Those seniors were, really, really special, really talented, great class. And they also got a lot coming back. Solid amount of players. So it's going to be exciting to see. And I think next year when Tottenville and E-Hall have each other on the schedule, it's just going to it means a little bit more every single year, it feels like.
Absolutely. Shout out to my co-commentator, Greg Polius, in the chat, man.
Oh, it's Greg, yeah.
He was in the trio cast yesterday.
That's awesome.
Yesterday, I'll talk to Greg Polius all week long. Yeah, I'm trying to. I know you guys see me looking back. I'm trying to see if my shades are in hands reach and arms reach. I don't think they are, and I can't think of where they are. But we got the return. I won't make the joke you think I'm making. I'm going to say, but we have the return of hold on a second. Before I get the fourth guest in, I just got to do this because we haven't had this on the screen in over a calendar year.
Oh, man. This is going to be emotional.
The original crew!
Oh, we're back. And it's for the right reasons,
too. The reunion, man. The reunion.
Wow.
What's up, fellas?
Mac, where the shades at, my boy? I was looking for my shades.
Nah, no shades tonight, man. No shades tonight, man.
All right, that was awesome, but I'm gonna kick you out for that.
With the Wi-Fi.
No. The Wi-Fi is correct, but I need to come correct because I need to introduce him not just as the former coach, but as one of the leaders on the undefeated Sheepshead Bay Sharks, who are crowned the new 3A champions. Coach Mac.
Yo. What's up, man? What's up, man?
Listen, of course, he's not alone. He got D coordinator as well. Coach Jarrell, what's going on, man?
What's up, fellas?
Hold on. Let's get this right for a second. Hold on, let's get this right, man. These are champions in the building, man. Champions at the top of the layout, man. Yeah, guys, we about to just have some fun in this chat. Like, Mac, we'll start with you. First of all, my guy, just publicly, privately, as I always done, just congratulations, man. You know, you guys, you came back to the tank. You promised good offense. You promised a great season. And it's crazy with those big words, you under-promised and over-delivered. I mean, first year in the 3A, we're talking about E-Hall's point totals. Let me go check out the Bay's point totals because you guys were really putting points on the board. Jesus Christ. You guys scored 30 in 2 games. Oh, you scored 28 against John Adams. That was your lowest point total. Jesus Christ. Mac, talk about the offense and just talk about how proud you are of this group, man.
Man, it was the sequence of everything happening was crazy. As you know, I was here in 2022. At the end of the 2022 season, the 2022 season, we lost to APR in the semifinals. I think the score was like 40 to 36, something like that. They scored on damn near the last play of the game and won it. During that offseason, I got the call from Franklin. And at the time, it was just a better opportunity for me for my coaching career. I went to Franklin and learned so loud crazy.
That championship check looked damn crazy.
Man. Went to Franklin. I learned so much at Franklin. Coach Blair helped me out tremendously, man, and the whole staff at Franklin. School. Nah, it's true though. It's true. Just be honest the whole way through. Was at Franklin. Loved it there, man. Loved it at Franklin. Had a conversation with my father, who went to Sheepshead Bay. My whole family actually went to Sheepshead Bay. I was watching Coach Lambert speak before I knew that he was a Midwood grad. I'm a Midwood grad as well. Go Hornets. But my whole family went to Sheepshead. My mom, dad, all my uncles besides one went to Sheepshead. So he's like, yo, come back and let's try to make things right. Let's just try to do right for the program. So, Coach McKinney got in contact with me and we had a conversation. And conversation went well. I know Jarrell and Yusuf was there. And yeah, everything just kind of fell into place, man. The group of kids that we had there at the time, great group of kids. We had an amazing freshman class when I was there, and a lot of those kids from that freshman class ended up coming back along some more. And when that kind of started assembling itself, yeah, I knew that something was special for the season.
Yeah, man. We will start in the championship game respectfully, right, against James Madison, right? It was a team that you guys had the upper hand with in the first time, but it was a slow start to that first half. How did you guys kind of set them right?
I actually didn't say anything at halftime.
Really?
I didn't say a word at halftime. I was kind of pissed with the kids. I knew kind of coming into the game that the kids were just overlooking the game because of what happened at homecoming. And I know we have all the jokes about homecoming and the food and the menu, but I wanted them to take this game Seriously, man, they just was at practice. They just wasn't. Like, I love the kids, man, all of them. But during the week, they're talking about, yo, Coach Mack, you better design a nice ring. And I'm like, bro, like, what ring? What ring? We don't have no ring yet. You know what I'm saying? Let's complete the job, and then we can start talking about that stuff. And I knew Madison was gonna come. Madison is a well coached team. They're just young. If that group sticks together at Madison, they're gonna be really, really good. It's like it's a team filled with sophomores. Their star players, they're all sophomores. The quarterback, Gavin, number 6, number 5. 65 is a sophomore, which he's a great defensive lineman. So yeah, those kids, they're gonna play hard. They were just young, and we were an older team. We're graduating 22 seniors. So that's kind of what kind of determined the game. I just knew we were an older group. They were more experienced, and they kind of thought the same way. They didn't really take it serious leading into the game. But yeah, we had a weak first half. Pretty much all the coaches chewed them out. Titus, who is playing for the Philadelphia Eagles, he played at Sheepshead Bay a couple years ago. This is his 3rd year in the NFL. He spoke to them during the halftime break, and I think that really resonated with them. They heard him speak, and he gave a passionate talk to them. And yeah, we kind of came out firing on all cylinders.
And before I throw it to Jared, I have to get Coach Jarrell in here. 04? Was it Chip?
04. 04, yep.
You win it in 04. And that was the last one, right?
Yeah,
okay, here we
one,
go.
Yep.
Perfect. So sets me up perfectly. You win it as a player. When the clock goes 0 and it was official, you win it as a coach. Just talk about that contrast. How was it different? Did it feel the same?
No, it definitely felt different, man, because as a coach, you have like less control over the, what happens with the game. As a player, you can make the plays, you're on the field, you're more in it. But as a coach, it's like you don't have the control, man. You could put the game plan together, and the guys, just got to count on your guys to go out there and execute. So for me, it's more fulfilling as a coach, just because these guys, man, that we wanted with, man, those are like my first guys back with coaching, man, because I came back to coach at Sheepshead in 2012. I stepped away like around 2015, and then came back 2023. And these guys right here, these seniors, man, like a lot of them were sophomores playing on varsity, so these are like the first guys I got to work with. And then just seeing them be able to finish so strong, man, after last year's letdown, it felt good, man. I think it's more fulfilling as a coach, man, definitely, just because, you got to see your time like molding the guys and the work that you put in with them in the off season, from the weight room to the summer workouts, and it's all paying off now, man. I think as a coach, it's like way more fulfilling.
Yo, Lyle, one of these days we gotta get Lyle up here, man. We gotta have a retro episode. Mac, Monty, Lyle.
Oh yeah.
I said the same thing. Where are the shades? I did. But coach,
yo, Dre, I feel like just want to jump in, man. I feel like Coach Jarrell is being like super humble tonight, which I understand, but he did an amazing job with the defensive group this season, man. When he came back to Sheepshead, I was already gone. So I heard we had Coach Jarrell on the staff, but I was at Franklin, so I never really got to work with him. When I came back and started working with him, man, he just put in so much work with the guys, with the kids. He has a great connection with the kids, man, and they play hard for him. With the departure, we had Coach Height as our defensive coordinator. Coach Height went on to APR, and during the offseason, Coach Jarrell stepped up like, yo, I got it, and did an amazing job. Yeah, man, I just want to take my hat off to him, man, and how he had the kids flying around this season.
Let's men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Let's just look back at this season with this defense. 0, 8, 0, 6, 0, 0, 12, 0, 0. We're gonna get it back to that one. 6. Bro, take your flowers, man. Talk about this.
Yeah.
Man, listen, man. I was blessed to have a good group of seniors to come into as my first year as a DC, man. Like this group of seniors, man, they seasoned, they've been through the fire, they were hungry, they knew what they wanted to accomplish, man. Like, so I was just blessed to have those guys to work with, man. And then even the underclassmen that played for us, like we had a couple of juniors step up, man, step up big for us. And like Coach Max said, man, we had Coach Hype with us last year, man. Me taking a step forward and being a D coordinator, I owe it him, man. Like everything I learned from him, I put my knowledge to use this year, you know what I'm saying? But so I say without Coach Hype's backing and me working with him the last 2 seasons, I don't think I step up to be the D coordinator, man. But the kids wanted me to step up, and like I said, Coach Hype, believing like, yo, man, do your thing, take over the DC job. I just want, full hands on deck, man. Like I stepped into the role kind of late, so like probably literally like right before the season started. But like I said, we hit the ground running, and like I said, I was just blessed with a group of guys, man, that's been seasoned and been through the fire, man. Guys like Jacob Reed, Amari Britt, Christian Wallace, you know what I'm saying? Young guys like Kawan Howard, Ant, you know what I'm saying? Like just those additions, man. And like another young guy, he's like, yeah, kids like Emmanuel Boyce, just like, yeah, man, just blessed with those guys, man.
So I'm gonna throw it to Jared. Let's keep it to the championship.
All right.
What we're gonna get to after.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because I got some, questions about that, but we'll stick to the chip. And in the championship game, I was looking at it, and I was watching it, and we're obviously gonna talk about Naeem Cooper because of how special he is. Before that, and this honestly, both of you guys can contribute to this. It's like Jacob Reed was amazing on both sides of the football. How impactful was he this year, wherever he was on the field? I guess we can start with you, Mac.
Jacob is a phenomenal player, man. Super tough kid. When I was at Franklin, I was even coming to some of the Sheepshead games and watching the stream, thanks to Dre. And I'm seeing Jacob on defense flying around. I'm like, yo, kid is special, man. I keep hearing his name. Played in the Rising Stars game, caught a pick.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, like this kid he's super talented. Works hard, plays super hard. And definitely a key senior on his team.
How about you, Jarrell, from what you've seen from him on defense?
I just want to talk about the kid's overall growth, man. Like the kid that I met as a sophomore to now as a senior, he's matured so much, man. Like just the improvement, like on and off the field, man. I just want to start there, man. He's becoming a great young man, and the kid he is right now, like that wasn't a sophomore I met, man. But as far as on the field, man, like last year, he played inside backer for us. This year, I said, yo, listen, I need you on the edge, man. He stepped up, played some DN, outside linebacker, sometimes safety, corner. Like kid's a jack of all trades on defense, man. Like no matter where I put him, he excelled. He led the league in sacks. Because majority of the year he played for us on the edge, man. And truthfully, that was the plan going in, man. I just want him aggressive off the edge, just play free, just ball out, man. And then last week, put him back at inside linebacker. We don't got to talk about that, but this week, back inside backer again, man. And then, like I said, man, that kid is just phenomenal, man. Like, so wherever you put him on defense, man, he's going to excel.
Yeah, and in the championship game, because, like, I think it was Taz on Madison. He, like, batted it to himself. It was a pretty crazy touchdown they had. And all of a sudden, it's like they're only down by 8 and at the half, and I know you guys were able to set them right, but, like, from a defensive standpoint, to shut them out the rest of the way, what was the key to do that?
The key was just executing, man. Just executing, rallying to the ball, man. Because even that tip pass, man, I was guiding the guys on the sideline, like, yo, the ball's in the air, and we're all just sitting around, just watching. You know what I'm saying? Next, the guys run up the sideline. Like, that should never happen with us. Like, we could go speed for speed with anybody in the league, man, and, like, we're aggressive. So, right there, I'm like, yo, guys are being too lax, man. So, coming out, it's like, yo, we're going to rally to the ball, make plays, get turnovers, and that's what we started to do. Another thing, like Boosie coming off the edge. Boosie at the end, you know what I'm saying? We one of the guys aggressive off the edge, man, because we knew that number one, Ray Nail, I think his name is, for Madison. Once he gets outside the pocket, man, that kid is dangerous, man. Like, so, and you saw that with the tip pass, man. He threw it up, tip pass, Taz, right into the end zone, man. Like I said, we just had to tell them guys play aggressive and wake up, man. Like
Mhm.
I was mad about the 6 points, man. I wanted a shutout for the chip game, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, and Dre, I just got one more question for Mac real quick. Just either regarding the championship, but honestly for the whole season, like you had two quarterbacks that just performed consistently well. And the two QB system really worked. So if you could just talk about that and what they really brought to the team.
Jared, man. Like I said, this season was crazy. Appreciate you, Tone. So we brought this kid Mikey in. And then I want to say maybe 3 weeks after, kid Jaden hit me up and was like, "Hey, I'm trying to come over to Sheepshead," and I'm like, "Okay." I heard great things from him from his prior coaches, saying that he's a great kid. I met with him, amazing kid. So we brought him in. The initial plan was to have Mikey play JV. And Mikey wasn't taking that for like an answer. He's like, yo, he's like, no. He's like, nah, I'm not playing JV. I want to compete for the varsity job. And if I don't win it, then okay. So we met as a coaching staff. Everybody kind of was like, all right, if you want to compete for the job, then compete for the job. They competed for 3-4 weeks, and every night I went home and I'm like, I don't really know which one can get the nod. Met with both of them, and I told them that both will be playing the entire season until if someone starts messing up, then we're going to go with the hot hand. Literally the whole year besides one game because Mikey got concussed and Zavarian, they both played. And they did an amazing job with their own rotation. I never even bothered with the rotation. They would ask me, I would say 2 drives and we switch, and they governed themselves and supported each other crazy in practice. I mean, rep for rep. Just, oh, man. Those 2 guys, it's a blessing to have those 2 guys on the team, man. Both threw for 1,000 yards this season. Supported them. They supported each other on doing so. We would have meetings. They would comment on each other's play. Like, yo, Jaden, you could have made that throw. Mikey, you could have made that throw. This wasn't a read here. This wasn't a read here. They did an amazing job with that, man. And I take my hats off to both those 2 quarterbacks. And to have both of those guys returning is just like, it's a blessing, man. Jaden being a senior, Mikey's going to be a junior next year. Yeah, man, it's something special.
Sure.
All right, guys, I think we've been political enough. I know Lyle is on our case. We had to be respectful to James Madison, of course.
Absolutely.
And honestly, James Madison, I just want to give them more flowers because I've spoken about this earlier, but the wheels really could have fallen off for James Madison in this season if my browser will refresh. The last week of the season, they got punched by APR, right? My browser, come on, are we gonna refresh or no? So they got punched by APR in the last game of the season, and they were able to beat McKee, and of course, they didn't have a good time against you guys in the regular season as well. And to rally, they beat John Jay handedly. They had that thriller against New Utrecht. They definitely earned their way to the championship game. So congratulations to them with such a young team. Of course, we wanted to talk about, the championship game respectfully, but I did promise y'all 4 of us, or I should say 4 guests, and Mac was not alone. Yusuf turned a light on or something like that. But we got another PSAL champion join us.
There he is.
Let me push you with your boys, you know what I'm saying? How with your boys. Yusef, you're muted.
Yusef is on mute, man.
Thank you for having me, man. I'm like super
Let's
excited.
go.
Just to be on the show. I know I was supposed to be here on the first time when we did the Rising Stars game. That was a phenomenal event that Mac produced again. Definitely got to thank Coach Mac just for the world to see. Like, yo, man, he put me in so many positions from the time I started coaching in 2022 when we had that first heartbreak against APR, also known as that team up north. And since then, man, I flourished. And that was under the tutelage and mentorship of Mac. The year he was here in 2002 when he left, had to take over the reins to keep Sheepshead afloat. And, you know, when he came back, I was extremely excited. It wasn't a step down for me. Like, I still flourished. OC the JV team, co-coordinated with him on Vars. This group of guys, like Coach Mac and Coach Jarrell said, was extremely special. Like, these guys were pretty much like coaches fed, but student led, student athlete led. Sorry. These guys a lot of times coach themselves in practice with the 2 quarterback system. Definitely want to give Mac his flowers again with that. Pretty much one of the only OCs I know that pulled off 2 quarterbacks throwing for over 1,000 yards, an efficient 1,000 yards as well, not throwing for 40%, 50%.
I think there was another team in Brooklyn who did that. Just
who was it? Oh, was it Eagle?
I knew he's gonna bring that up.
Yo,
I
that's my bad because we seen it.
We had
We
to.
seen it in camp, and that's when we knew what we had. We played them in camp. That was a show. That should have been on Sage Media game of the summer or something like that. But,
Not to cut you off. Coach Yusef made an amazing point. We scrimmaged Eagle Academy at camp. When I tell you that defined us moving forward, everybody's seeing how talented that group is. And they were supposed to scrimmage other schools, I believe, and it didn't happen. And we was like, yo, we'll scrimmage you guys. It's not a problem. And we set it up, and before the scrimmage even started, the kids were like pumped. And I'm not sure if you guys like watch Hard Knocks or any of those shows where they do like training camp. When I tell you, I don't know if PSAL is watching, but a brawl. But it was great. It was great. That was needed for both teams. I believe they scored 4 times. We scored 4 times, but it was so passionate from both sides. I mean, coaches had to separate the kids at times. We had to stop the scrimmage and like cool both teams down. Like, yo, we're still trying to get work. We love the intensity, but we still trying to get work. And yeah, we went at it. And then that night, we kind of had a conversation like, yo, we know those guys are really talented because we know some of those kids over there. Yo, I think as a team, we might be really, really good this season. And then to see what Eagle did this season moving forward, Coach Jones, Coach Chad, Coach Reggie, all those guys over there did an amazing job with those guys. I'm like, yo, we went at it with those guys at camp, man. And I think that kind of launched us to, you know, what ended up happening. I also, before we move forward, Jared and Dre, I want to give my flowers to Coach Yusef, man. The hardest working person I've ever worked with in any facet of football. He literally works for me through everything. I do Move the Chains. He's a part of every facet of Move the Chains. He does 7-on-7 with me. Any kind of camps you do for the young kids, he's a part of it. 8th grade game, he's a part of it. Rising Stars game, he's a part of it. And I keep having this guy along because of his commitment and devotion to the kids. If you ask any kid that has came in contact, any kid from any school that has came in contact with this guy, it's going to be the same raving reviews. I'm not as impersonable as he is. The kids love him. I think me and the kids have a great relationship too. The kids love him. Like
Yeah.
He's like a fan favorite. You know what I'm saying? And I think the kids realize the work he puts in with them. Like, we'll be done with
Especially that receiver
practice,
group, man.
and he's like, "Yo, receivers, we got our workout." And the whole receiver room will stay at the practice
in there.
and work. It's
Taking
amazing,
tests.
man. It's amazing. And I think it goes overlooked. I don't think the city and other coaches get to see the work that he's put in, but definitely I would like to highlight that, man. This dude puts in 1,000% effort, and he has so many other things going on, but he makes sure that he makes time for these kids, for the football program, and everything that he's involved with, man. So I definitely got to give my flowers and take my hat off to Coach Youssef.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man.
All
Nah,
right.
yeah, man. I think the receivers showcased the work this year with Ant, D-Lo, Sticks and Mikey. They came in from Canarsie. Even the backups, man. Fanu, Rodney he came from A-Tech, man. He like showed out this year when he had opportunities. Next year he's gonna be our primary back along with Manny, number 7. Showtime at the Apollo. I'm telling you guys. Like, I know Coop, Jacob, and Boosie will graduate. These guys played a phenomenal few years for us, but the future is still bright. Our skill guys for sure were all young, and they all came in ready to work. I put them through like some tough workouts, and they just like never stopped. Our group chat is always like super lit. These guys like came in ready to work, man. And like, I know the two-way talk with Ant, probably thought there was going to be a regression, but he progressed and like exceeded expectations. D-Lo coming from Houston, I know he was here in, at Canarsie a few years ago. He came in. To me, I think is one of the best blocking receivers in the PSAL. We have film to show that. Just phenomenal, man. But I said I got to thank the staff as well, man. These guys like give me the drive, and like they poured like that passion into me to like pour back into the kids. Coaches around the league, Dave Legrees, the Tyrone Battles that we played against. Eagle staff, like super cool. Coach Perlo, Coach Height. Height definitely, he laid the foundation for the Bay as well. He went off to that team up north and is doing his thing. PSL in the whole as a whole is definitely taking like steps to be more recognized around like the nation, pretty much, I think.
Listen, guys, we tiptoed around it enough. Let's get into
Let's get it.
You guys know exactly where we're going to go here. Yeah, had to be respectful, of course. Let's keep it a stack. We know the game the people want to talk about. Them boys up north. A. Philip Randolph, Sheepshead Bay. Lyle, wait your turn. Listen, y'all. I was thinking of who to go to first, right? I'm gonna go to Jarrell, right? Especially as a champion wearing the same colors. This game, there was so much leading up to it. You have a couple of bozos on New York Football Talk picking against the Sharks. You have everybody talking about this game. Everybody has an opinion. And the way it kind of worked out, that Saturday, no disrespect to Utrecht and Madison, but it was like New York City was centered around Sheepshead Bay and APR. All the cameras were outside. Talk about it just from that standpoint before the game and then just walking onto the field like, all right, we're at the center of New York City football now.
I mean, I walked into this rivalry, man, like a year after the letdown. My first year here, we beat them in the regular season. Then we lost them in the playoffs by a lot. We don't got to talk about that. Yo, from there, I was entrenched in the rivalry, man. Like, yeah, man, watching you guys kind of pick against us, it kind of had me, ready to make a point, man. I think
Credit me with
TYJ
the
was the
win,
only
by the way.
one.
Just credit me. Oh, against Jared too. So credit us for
Yeah, I think
for real.
he was the only one who had us on there, man. I just watching the film, like the New Utrecht game and the Madison game, and saw those scores. It kind of like, all right, I think I know what we got to do, man. I think what I'm saying, we could beat these guys. We should be able to beat these guys. My game plan was turned on one dimensional, man. Just stop the run, because if those guys are able to run the ball, that opens up the passing game with Manny. So yeah, I want to stop the run, man, and make them throw the ball. I think we gave up 2 passing touchdowns. So they kind of got that. But like I said, my plan was going there, stop the run. Came out with 5 D linemen. I knew they can't block our linemen one-on-one. If you got Amari Britt one-on-one, you're not blocking him. If you got Jonathan LaForest one-on-one, you're not blocking him. You guys got Wade, Aaron, that whole D line, man, Sharif, those guys, Kalon. My goal was to put those 5 D linemen out there against their linemen one-on-one, big on big, and I knew we could win that battle. And it showed right away. And then I want my linebackers to flow. Put Jacob Reed back at inside linebacker, paired him up with Kawan Howard. And it was like, yo, you guys gonna be able to just flow freely, man. Just go sideline to sideline, make plays. And that first half showed that, man. He couldn't really do nothing with that. I was one of my corners like, yo, listen, you're not letting no receivers get past you. We'll just lock in and do that, man. And like I said, the game plan, was just to stop the run, make them pass. And I feel like once we got there, we can make some things happen.
And Mac, I'm going to throw the same question to you before we even get into the X's and O's. And I love that from Jarrell. Just coming into it, like, just talk about what it felt like, again, being at the center of New York City on that day.
Yeah, that week, yeah, I didn't really sleep too much that week. We have a group chat, me, Jarrell, and you, so I'll text the group chat 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and Jarrell will reply. Jarrell will reply, like, bro, like, you got to get some sleep. But yeah, I didn't sleep too much going into that week. It was consuming me way too much to the point where when Thursday and Friday came, I had to disconnect from the game because it was like taking over my life. And I was having dreams about the game, and I'm having dreams about play calling, and I'm trying to see if I'm, game planning the right way, and I'm watching film at 4 a.m. And I'm like, I had to stop. Like, this is, what I'm saying? This is becoming way too much. It was killing me, man. It was killing me.
There it goes.
It was killing me.
Yo, that was crazy.
At work, I'm watching film, and then the day of, I didn't really see anybody else around me at like pregame. It wasn't until maybe like 5 or 10 minutes before kickoff when I'm like, all right, yo, we're here, and let's lock into what we've been game planning. And I know they have did an amazing job with prepping for us. And back to me going back to Franklin, and I also want to give a shout out to Coach Ed, man. In the off season, just learning how to build an offense, practice plan, do things the right way. Me and him have been on Zooms, and he's like, "Oh, all right, you're doing it like this. Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do that." Just giving me tips, and me just putting it all together, taking what he's been saying and what I've been doing, and kind of putting it together. And yeah, man, that game was surreal because that feeling in 2022, man, it hurt, man. It hurt for a long time. It hurt for a long time, not gonna lie. And I didn't want that feeling again. And some of the kids that played in that 2022 game, believe it or not, Naeem Cooper played in the 2022 game as a true freshman.
Amari Britt as well.
Amari Britt as well. So those guys knew the feeling. And then to have the seniors from that class come back to that game kind of gave me chills, man. I seen Kenroy. I knew Kenroy Porter's heart and soul into that game, and to see them show back up. And Ken Roy before the game was like, "Yo, Mac, you gotta get it done this time." And I'm like, "Yo, he's right. He's right, man. We had to get it done that time."
Listen, before I bring Yusef in, this is what we're gonna do. No, not even. This is for me. This is for the people at home. A lot of you are not built for all this. You're not built for it, and put some respect on these coaches, man. I'm not built for it. That's why I'm on this side of it. That's why I'm interviewing them. They ain't interviewing me. I'm interviewing them. No, in all seriousness, coach, like it's really like it's just really incredible to hear that from you. Like it's just like the stress level of it. And to Jarrell's point, I'm sure it's even more stressful than being a player because it's like a whole community almost being based, putting their faith in you. Like as a player, you go out, you play, hopefully you compete and hopefully you win, right? But now, especially as we know, we're all adults, right? You have young men, and you know, at Sage, we always call sports history, right? You have their history, their life, you know, not their like livelihood, but like you have like the most important days of their life in your hands, and you just want to do well by them so badly, So
Sure.
I just want to give my flowers to you guys and how tough that is, because I feel like people don't even think about it from that aspect, how stressful it is for coaches, and that's where I'll bring you in, Yusef. The hype, the build up into this game. How did you deal with it?
Well, I had to deal with it twice this year. The first time our JV team played them, went up to George Washington, didn't sleep that week, called out of work twice, specifically to just watch film, uninterrupted. Our guys, we went up there, handled business. That felt like a Super Bowl win for our JV team. And then that kind of put pressure on a varsity team to win because our head coach was like, yo, these guys took care of business. What can you do? These guys responded in a hell of a way. Another thing that goes into the preparation is knowing the coaching on the other side. I coach with Perlo in the Rising Stars game, so I know how he prepares. His players are phenomenal. I got to shout out all of their players. Stand-up guys. Jaden Haley, he came back to watch the game. 54 and 58 that I coached in the Rising Stars, coached against in the Rising Stars game in practice. Phenomenal players on tape. Yo, my huddle hours was probably at like, yeah, they are, man. Yeah, they was up there. But Coach Height going to the other side as well played a major part during pregame. We seeing him on the other side of 50 as we doing our chant. Our players being respectful to him as well, but letting him know like, yo, today is not your day. The game plan from Coach Mack in the passing game, like asking me questions like, what do you think we should run against this line of or this formation? What do you think? This alignment. It worked to perfection, man. And just knowing that Perlo was on the other side of that, cooking up as well. If you miss a day or an hour of not watching film, he got a step ahead of you, and you did not want that. Like knowing these seniors that was there, the freshmen, the guys that transferred in, after like the second day of practice, they understood like what was at stake. I had to to compare it to the battle of the floors. Like that type of atmosphere is what it was like for this battle against that team up north. But phenomenal game. These guys, I said, super respectful in my DMs after the game. So I said, so kudos to the players on that side of the field. Those guys were in my DM. Yo, thank you, coach, for just making the 3A schedule worth it. I said everybody knows that was the Super Bowl of the year. No disrespect to Madison, but yeah, lights out performance by our staff, and same for them as well. I said I'm pretty sure we'll see them next year, and it's always going to be blood. Like when they beat us in 2022, and then when we beat them in 2023 in the regular season, pretty much the same way they beat us in 2022. Then we lost to them in the playoffs. We got smacked. I'm not gonna lie. Sent us packing, and then here we are, 2025, city champs, 3A.
Absolutely, and this is where I'll bring Jared in. I think there's a certain running back you might want to talk about in this game, but I'll let you.
Yeah, and I think this has to go to Mac here. I kind of talked with you a little bit about it after the game, but he wasn't a running back in this game, like primarily. He caught a lot of passes, had a special performance. I mean, if you could just talk about Naeem, your plan, and yeah, what made it all so special.
Man, Coop is a special player, man. I've been watching this kid since he was in the 7th grade playing youth football. And kind of followed him all the way through. And I think APR expected him to be in the backfield. I guess you could say he's a running back, but he goes to Coach Youssef's receiver workouts. In individuals, he's with the receivers. And I knew we had 2 other running backs who run the ball really well. So the game plan going on for that. It's funny, man. I don't want to disrespect any other teams out there, but for 3 weeks before playing APR, we were game planning for APR, which is crazy. But we were running things in practice that weekend we would not run in the regular game. And that was 3 weeks worth of material. So the week of APR, it was kind of like a review period of like this other side of the playbook. So going into the game, we were coming out in things that APR has never seen on film. I was told they had about like 8 or 9 games of us. So they're going through 8 or 9 games of us on film. And what I came out with was nothing that they've seen before. And the kids were like super prepared. Coop had probably his best high school game ever in his biggest high school game. Played really well. He ran the ball. He had, I think, like 200 or something receiving yards in the first half.
202.
202 in the first half. And the quarterbacks was getting it to him, man. Was getting it to him. We're talking about a sophomore and Michael Misler. He knew, like, he texted me like, yo, I feel like this. He said he felt like he'd been in this rivalry for the last 2 years of high school.
Yes.
Like he was like super pumped for the game, man. And that was just special. And just Coop being on the field, I know he missed some games this season. Missed about 4 games. Him being on the field gave the entire team this spark. And we seen it back to the Eagle scrimmage. We seen it in the Eagle scrimmage. The kids kind of fed off that energy and then just turned all of them into beasts. And that's what you saw in that APR game. We came out super slow start. 2 high snaps in our red zone. We had an intentional grounding. We started off bad. If this wasn't the team that it was, we would have folded. We would have folded in that moment. Then we punted the ball and they ran it back for a touchdown, which got called back. But in that same time, in a kid's head, you could be like, damn, maybe they are just a better team. And the defense played amazing. I got to take fault in some of the points. The score didn't reflect how the defense played.
Yeah,
we threw a pick 6. They scored on the defense, and then they scored on special teams. They ran a kick return back. So defense played, oh my gosh, man, played a lights out game. Just, we know those kids were talented. Manny, number 1, their quarterback, amazing kid, a hell of an athlete. Zero, Medi, amazing athlete, man. That kid is tough.
Number
I'm watching
5
the
is
film.
a
Wazo.
D1 player.
Oh my God,
Wazo,
number 5, man. Yo, number 3, what a player. As I'm watching the film, APR scrimmage Chaminade, who plays in a very tough league against very tough opponents. Number 0 breaks out for like a 77-yard run for a touchdown. I mean, just running through Chaminade's defense.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing that on film at night, I'm texting Coach Jerome. I'm like, yo, are we ready for this kid? And he's like, yeah, we're good. I'm like, yo, he was way too calm for me, man. He was way too calm for me.
Hated him that week, son.
Yo, he was just way too. He said, "Yo, we're good." Like I'm not.
He was mad at me, man. He was mad at me that whole week. He's like, "Yo, why you so like relaxed?" I'm like, "Yo,
Bro,
I got the guys, man."
And yo, just preparing for that, he came super prepared. I mean, 0 scored. He got his biggest production in the pass game. I want to say he might have had maybe 30 or 40 rushing yards, maybe. And this is a kid who shredded the 3A this year. I mean, you guys talked about it. Yeah. He shredded. He damn near he couldn't be stopped. And the kids came and they didn't care, man. Like this group right here. Oh, fearless. Everybody around. I mean, even to the DBs. If you watch the clip, you got a kid number 4, Zaire Walker, who was a primary basketball player. I call him the point guard. Basketball. This guy forces a fumble. Like, just punch the ball out like he was like taught that for years. I'm looking at the film like, yo, like these kids are just on one today, man. It was very satisfying to see. I watched that game probably like 25 times already. I just playing it back. Like I'm sleeping. The game is just on, man. It's
That's awesome.
Listen, like the emotions after the game. I probably got cussed out like 8 times because of my pick, and I'm just looking at everybody like,
they was on you, man.
Listen, I'm looking at everybody. Matt cursed me out. Dre didn't want to dap me up. Got a picture with Jacob. Yo.
Matt's rant after the game.
Yo.
I wish there was a video.
We won't put that on the internet, but you know, like the picture I have with Jacob is just the funniest thing in the world. Because I remember the first game I did for you guys last year. And it was against the Eagle Queens. And I remember Mac was actually next to me. And I'm like, I'm on commentary. I'm like, who the hell is this kid, Jacob? And now he's looking at me like dummy.
He's a dog, man.
And I'm just sitting here, just like, this is just. I felt honored. As crazy as it sounds, I felt honored even to be cussed out because that game in that moment just felt for you guys to even have just a small part like that. It was really an honor for me. So, Coach Youssef, just talk about like your emotions after the game, man.
Once again, I said I know I have to see Perlo later on in the year during the Rising Stars game. He said he's coming back.
Oh, nice. I didn't know.
It was great to be coaching with him after he beat me. But now it's going to be different this year. Like, if he's like, yo, we running all goals, and I'm like, nah, we're running all hitches. I'm joking.
You got hit him with this?
That's my guy.
Excuse me. Audible.
No, but,
audible.
Absolutely. I said I feel like the O-line has to get their flowers as well.
Ooh.
You guys spoke about the D-line, like wrecking havoc against our guys, but we have a lot of guys on that O-line. Big O, K-Lon, Sharif, and of course Amari Britt. That like they took that personal when you guys said 54 and 58 was gonna have great days against our O-line. Yeah. These guys said, no, you're not touching Fatback. You're not touching Mikey today. They created holes when we ran that counter play that, you know, the city loved. Great design by Mac. Like, listen, man, the emotion after the game felt incredible, man. I said, you talk about hours of preparation, not sleeping, huddle
Dream.
pretty much just telling me like, yo, pack it up, bro. Like, I'm tired of being open. Yeah, man, and just hearing the interview the week before, I said, I know it was tough to pick. Like, damn, where do they have the edge over us? But then I'm like, throughout the week of practice, yo, every unit was just locked in. I'm like, I don't see how we could lose this shit. And then it was one day I was parking about work and I seen a dead cat in the street. And I was like, yo, that was the first sign. I said, all right, cats, cougars, all right, you know, you do anything to just get the
R.I.P.
edge.
to the cat. We
Sent,
support.
yeah, definitely meow.
Yeah.
I sent it to Coop. He made the edit, but I said, nah, don't post it. I do have a ton of respect for those guys. Don't do that. It was so many signs that week, man, that I was just like, yo, we just can't. I don't see us losing. I really felt like if we lost, yeah, I probably wouldn't be on this interview right now. I probably would be super depressed. I'm telling you, same way I was in 2022. But I said this team is so special, like the camaraderie amongst themselves, like no fighting, no egos, even with the 3 backs that we have, all the receivers we have. If one guy had 0 catches and another one had 8, it was like they was giving each other their flowers that week and just knowing like, nah, like next week is my week or the following week. I said these guys, man, just as a collective came together and said like, it's not about me, it's about we. And that day, the program was more important than individual stats or anything. I know Coop had a phenomenal game. I'm glad like all the work, the receiver work we did throughout the years paid off on such a big stage. However, like as a team, the linebackers, the DBs were flying to the ball. The D-line, the gap integrity with the D-line was phenomenal. The O-line, the game plan with Mac, Coach Ed that week. Shout out to Coach Ed at Cardinal Hayes, man. Just when I met him at the Glacier Clinics, just that dude. Whoever, yeah, I would love to coach under him someday. But listen, Shark Pride, bro. Like,
Yo,
Shark
we
Pride.
also want to thank you guys, man.
For sure.
Andre and Jared, I screen recorded you guys' predictions, and I sent it in the chat. So we used that, and then I also screen recorded. APR had dropped a video at the beginning of the season. Yo, I'm telling you, I was losing my mind, and I was trying to use anything to get these kids
Yo.
to
We
realize
was playing it on the
That
bus.
video?
We was playing it on the bus to the game.
Yeah,
It was
so
a sound bite. But let me,
yeah.
my fault, Mac, to cut you off.
Nah.
I did speak to Perlo after. That was not for us. He said they was playing Kennedy.
He been told me that though.
Yeah.
He been told me that. Yeah, but the kids didn't know that.
Did it.
I wanted the kids to think it was for
I ain't know that. I just found that out.
Terrell's house still fired up.
Where
He
Perlo
told me
was
that
like,
back,
yo,
he told me that
anybody,
back in August.
he was like, anybody coming in this division,
Mhm.
picking is theirs. It's not.
Mhm.
You got to go through APR. Yo, we played that on the bus about
That
80
door.
times.
And coming off the bus
Oh, my God.
to the game, man. Yeah, we needed that. So I want to thank you guys for amping up the kids. I want to thank Coach Perlo for that video. The video as we're walking on the field, they're warming up, and we have a speaker, and we're playing Coach Perlo saying, "There's other teams coming in our division, thinking shit is sweet."
They
And
gonna
the
make a
kids are
championship
listening
run.
to that as we walk to our sidelines, man. And then they just started chirping off, man. They started going crazy. So it worked, obviously, man.
Listen, man. I always say I'm a grown man. I could take the jokes. You can meme me up. You can use this for chalkboard material, just like you said in the chat.
Absolutely.
We can give you guys the 1% edge. I'll take the jokes. I'll come put my hands up. I always say that. I always say that, man. Mac, just talk about, your offensive scheme in general. And not only that, talk about Mr. Boosie, man, because I feel like, he really had to show a lot of humbleness, and he really showed a lot of leadership, knowing that Coop was coming back into the program. It was going to affect his snaps. So talk about like what your priorities are as an offensive schemer, and just Boosie in general, just being such a selfless person.
I was talking to Coach Harden, another guy I considered a mentor, and he said that people think it's easy when you have a lot of talent on a team. He said it's really not, because with a lot of talent, then you have to manage emotions, you have to manage personalities, and then with the additions of the kids coming in, that was the problem. We had Boosie, we had Jacob, and we had Coop. Boosie showed all season that he was ready. And when he got the chance to get in the game, I believe, I want to say this, I'm not 100% sure, but I think Boosie had the most carries on the team this season.
Loud comments.
Yeah, crazy. Boosie worked so hard in the offseason. Super strong, fast. He runs track for the school. His stat line was crazy. He kind of got overshadowed by Jacob and Coop, but he had a phenomenal season, man. Yeah. I mean, we talking about a kid that's like 5'5", straight muscle, probably the strongest skill guy on the team. He's lifting with like the lineman, and he dealt the cards amazing this season. When he got in the game, it was like, yo, with these carries, I'm trying to make the best out of them.
Facts.
I'm not trying to get 7-8 yards and a first down. When I touch the ball, I'm trying to score. And I feel like, again, like I said, he was overlooked. He scored twice in the APR game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think that's talked about enough, man. He had 2 big touchdowns in that game, which was our biggest game of the season. So he was featured amazing in the offense this year. We were able to put Coop in the slot, Jacob in the slot, but Boosie is like the true running back, true downhill running back. He's going to get you your yards. His balance is amazing. Just when you think you have him on the ground, he had a run against McKee. They stopped him in the backfield. What looked like they stopped him in the backfield. Somehow he got out of like 2-3 tackles and then broke out for 82 yards. And that's the kind of kid he is, man. Just a hardworking kid. He's not going to stop until the whistle is blown, and he's going to do his job. Even in the pass game, you put Boosie in, he's going to pass block, and he's going to give maximum effort doing it. And that's just a selfless player that he is, man. I got to take my hat off to that kid.
No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Listen, I'm going to wrap it up. Jared, do you have anything before I wrap it up?
Nah, I mean, just obviously a huge congratulations to you guys. It's insane how like you go from the 2A to 3A, beat APR with that renewed rivalry, win it all. Everything really came together. Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. So it's cool stuff.
Lyle, are you in the chat?
Oh yeah, I know.
Yo, when he gets summoned, that's never good.
I know.
Who wants to go on the big screen? Raise your hand.
I know what's coming. I'll take the question.
You know what's coming?
Yeah, I know what's coming.
Here we go.
Sir.
So
when Coach McKinney talks to you about going into a head coach's meeting, and they talk about the 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A alignment, there is an open spot in the 4A. Or TYJE took a PTO, so he's not here. But there's going to be a spot in the 4A. when he says, "Yo, what do you guys think? Should we take that spot?" What do you personally say to him?
Definitely, there's definitely going to be conversations this offseason. Me personally, when I came back, my first request was we have to move up, and I was fought on it for weeks. Like, what do you mean move up? We couldn't get the job done in the 2A. Why are you saying to move up? I'm like, yo, just trust me. Let's just move up, and I don't think we'll lose a game in the 3A. It looked at me like I was crazy. I mean, we had full-blown arguments in the coach's office, man. And I just asked the guys to trust me, man. Just trust what we got going on. Another big thing to this, and I definitely don't want to leave this out, bringing in these coaches, reaching out to Coach Mark, Coach Zay. Oh, my gosh, man. Coach Zay helped us out tremendously on the defensive side of the ball with Coach Jarrell. A young Coach Kai, who I coached him at Millwood. Coach Tyshawn, who I coached at Millwood, who helped. Bringing those guys helped develop these players. So as far as moving up, we would have to see what the offseason looks like.
He said,
There he is.
"Reel it back."
We would have to see what the offseason looked like. I just want to keep in mind, we are graduating 22 seniors. We only have 36 guys on the roster. But we bring back both quarterbacks, all receivers come back. We have guys that can fill in at running back. We'll see how the offseason goes. We have a little bit of time to figure out what we're gonna do. If by March the roster is looking okay, I would love to go up, and I would love to coach against Dave Legree and Coach Battle and Lyle, and the guys. I have guys at Erasmus. I would love to coach against those guys. Coach Jones at Eagle after the championship game. Coach Jones like, yo, I see you in the 4A.
Undefeated JV team too. Yeah.
Yeah, he said that after the game. I would love. I'm a competitor at heart, man.
For sure.
I don't like the games when it's 44-0, 44-6. I don't enjoy those games. The games I enjoy is like games like APR when we play Zavarian, who was well coached. I enjoy games like that. So if we feel that we have a roster that can compete in the 4A, I think it's a no-brainer.
Does anyone else want to come on the big screen, or that's okay for?
Listen, man. I'm just like Mac, man. I'm here for the challenge, man. I love to get that 4A working, man. Just like the old school Sheepshead days, man. Back when we had the big rivalry games, man. You know what I'm saying? We played the South Shores, the Canarsies, the E-Holes.
Yeah.
Like Sheepshead E-Hole in the playoffs was always a nice little thing, Tottenvilles, the Port Richmonds. We love that, man. So yeah, like I said, man, I'm here for it, man. Definitely.
And if you guys look on the sideline, man, every week you look on the sideline and you'll see this guy on the sideline with an orange varsity jacket, man. I pops on the sideline. He be talking my ear off sometimes, but when I have these side conversations with him, he's pushing that narrative for Sheepshead to be with the big dogs. And everything that I consider to bring to the table, I make sure I run it through him, and he gives me his advice. And even leading up to the APR game this season, I asked Coach Jarrell, did the 2001 and 2014 lose in the regular season? He said no. And my uncle played on the 1985 team, and I asked him, did y'all lose? And he said no. So I said, oh, so when Sheepshead goes undefeated in the regular season, 10 times out of 10 they win a championship. So yeah, man, he's pushing in that direction to play against the big time programs, and yeah, man, I definitely want to do what makes that guy happy, man. And he just wants the best for the program.
Uzzi played on that team.
You put me on the big screen. That's crazy. All right, so I'll leave
a little hot in that seat, huh? A little hot.
Nah, that's cool. I'll leave it at this. We have a 4A coaching staff. We have 4A returners. We need 4A depth. That's what'll take us there to the next level. Other than that, got to see what the offseason looks like. That's that. I'll keep it simple. Yeah.
I love it. No, I love it. I love it, man. Listen, I'll put myself on the big screen, man. First of all, I want to thank, I love all the programs across New York City, but Sheepshead Bay, I mean, I've been working with Sheepshead Bay. I think the first game I did at Sheepshead Bay was, I think, one of the Riley Classics. I don't even know if I was Sage Media at the time. I don't remember. It was a while ago at this point. You guys have been so supportive of me. Coach Dre. Dre is always in the chat, showing love, man. Always trying to push what I got going on at Sage Media. Mac, you're a part of the original crew, the original New York Football Talk crew, man. None of this could have happened. I haven't publicized this yet, but as far as viewership goes on this podcast, we've had a 32% increase from last year. When I go to games and stuff like that, yo Sage, talk about this. Yo Sage, where's Jared? Where's E? Da 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 da. So just as Kimberly saying in the chat, I just want to give your program flowers, man. Going up from the 2A after that loss in the chip game, you guys really bet on yourselves. You bet on yourselves, and you literally hit the jackpot. You hit the jackpot, So of course we have to ask the question about the 4A, 3A, but forget all that. Like, all of you guys, your whole staff should be so proud of yourselves. Like, this was a great victory for you guys, and I really couldn't be happier for anyone else, man.
No, we appreciate that, man.
Appreciate it, man. Seriously.
Yeah.
Audrey, I want to give you your flowers, man.
Just like, Dre, I want to thank you, Uzzi, E, even the T-Page. I'm saying, all you guys for doing what y'all do for New York City football, man. Like, I put it back on the map, man. We don't got MSG no more, back in the day, stuff like that. So, doing what you do, we appreciate that. Uzzi being back with Newsday, that's big, man. We should look for those things back in the day. Looking to open the paper to see if you make the Daily News and Newsday, all city teams and stuff like that. So, what you guys do, we appreciate that, man. For sure.
You guys are like celebrities in the city, man.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
They are. Players know, I gotta have my best game when Sage is around. When Jared is around, what? that day Jared came out practice was one of our best practices. These guys, Jared's coming? Yeah. All right. I seen some of the best post corners that day.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on today? Jared, it made sense. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, the kids be geeked up, man. You guys are doing an amazing job, man. This is amazing.
Yeah, man. Listen, we'll get into everything towards the end. How we do at the end. But yeah, listen, everyone here. Everyone here was a New York athlete, whether it was New York City or Long Island. When I spent, I'm from Long Island, but I went up to the Bronx to play Hayes, play Fordham Prep, Holy Cross, St. Francis Prep, all of them, right? Stepinac, Low to Mercy, even though they're up in Westchester. So we've all seen New York through different lenses, you know what I'm saying? So,
absolutely,
everything that we do, whether you like the commentary or not, whether things are this way or that way, this is a grassroots stuff that we're doing, and just the work that me, Jared, and E have done, man. E really the ear to the streets. You know what I'm saying? That, I really didn't really understand until I had E on the podcast. He's clearly the favorite child. Jared, you're a close second. I'm definitely last. well, if we include Mac, I'm third. Mac, you last. Well, listen, man. The main reason why we do everything here is, like I said, we still are New York athletes at heart, you know what I'm saying? So we knew what was missing in the city. And now it's almost like we have an abundance of it. You know, you just look at that, you just like we were saying, your Sheepshead game. I mean, probably saw 8 different posts about that game and the pictures and 10 different predictions and graphics and stuff like that.
Oh, it's crazy, man.
You know, it's all about, you know, setting the stage for, you know, people coming up next, you know, to be excited to be like, yo, I want to really be on Newsday, or I want to really be on Sage Media, you know. But at the core of it are you guys. You know, I don't know what the future holds for Jared. Listen, it's past me. I ain't coaching. I'm on this side. You know what I'm saying? So it's the coaches and the players that, you know, are really at the core of this. And of course, the supporters, the parents.
Well, I say shout out to parents, man.
You know, so we won't be having the Bryant coach. I know you're asking the question. I don't have his contact, but if you have his contact, I will gladly have the Bryant coach up here.
No, we don't.
Listen, man, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'll let you guys have the final word. But yeah, just salute to you guys. Like, you guys have been huge supporters of huge supporter of Sage Media from the beginning. So, you know, just want to give you guys your flowers. So, Mac, final words.
Yeah, man, I just want to say thank you guys for putting the spotlight on the kids, man. Dre, with your commentary, screw what the naysayers may say. You're connecting people who don't even know the kids to the kids through the commentary. Like, I got family members in Virginia. They're like, oh my God, Rodney Elam scored. We're so proud of him. I'm like, you're saying Rodney Elam on the commentary. So I definitely want to thank you, Jared. Man, yo, like I say all of the time, maybe monthly, don't forget about us when you become a millionaire, dog. Like, the future for you is super bright. Like, we're gonna play this back maybe 5 years from now. Your ceiling is just like, wow, man. For you to be doing what you're doing right now at your age, it's unbelievable, man. I definitely want to give you your flowers. And of course, E, who's not with us today, E
Just
told me,
guys, he's okay.
huh?
Yeah, I want to say, yo, it's
Yeah.
Wait,
No.
He's just on PTO, guys.
crazy.
Who's not on the show tonight? He told me 6 years ago about the TYJ idea, and to see it pan out to what it is today. Like, I have regular kids in the school talking about TYJ, and I'm like, how do you guys even notice? They're not even an athlete. They're just a regular student in the school, like a part of the math club. And they're like, yeah, I heard TYJ is coming in today. I'm like, how do you even know that? Like, how do you even know him? His impact from literally 6-year-olds to seniors in high school. Like, his range is crazy. He does 6 U games. I don't think people understand that. Like, he really spreads love to everybody, man. And that's amazing. All 3 of you guys just work extremely hard. Championship weekend, Dre, I know it's like, man, like, games start at 10 a.m. and it's 2 days and 4 games. And it's a lot, man. I definitely miss being up here on Monday nights. You guys did an amazing job this season. And it was great to be a viewer and be in the comments, man, and kind of just having a good time. You guys are really, really doing an amazing job, man.
Yeah, even though we ain't get no tier talk this year, it's cool though.
Oh, we ain't get no tier talk.
Funny? I messed that up. So don't put that for Jared.
It got a little crazy. I also kind of contributed to messing it up too.
Big money, Jared.
Because it was like one weekend. I had to leave early.
We were gonna do it the bye week for the 4A.
Okay.
That was like the week that Eagle played Lehigh. We are gonna do it that week, but yeah, just like Jared was saying, things didn't work out. And that episode ended up being really long anyway. God, I forget what happened that week, but that ended up being a long episode. But yeah, we didn't do the tier list talk. But Mac, let me tell you something. The predictions this year compared to last year, like People were on our bodies.
Nah, I saw, man. I saw.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I saw, man.
You said 5 words, man.
Just want to shout out you guys again for bringing such a great platform to our city. Definitely want to shout out our players. Once again, this was a special group, man. I wouldn't trade this year for any year. The coaching staff again, all our competitors as well this year, that definitely like challenged us. I think PSAL is in great hands with the coaching staffs around the league. And once again, you go around the city. It's been phenomenal for New York, just in general, man. And just all the games you guys covered. Basketball, like I watched that as well when you first started doing Eagle games. Just your progression through years has been phenomenal to see. Jared, same thing for you. Congratulations on graduating and like just making moves in life.
Thank you.
Love that for you, bro. TYJ, just up like around community, just person to see every time I see him. It's always love, unbiased as well. But you know, we need that sometimes. So thank you again. You guys deserve all the flowers.
Appreciate it, man. Sherelle, final words, man.
Right.
Yeah, man. I just want to thank the players, man, these seniors, man, for a great season, man. A good, first 3 years here at the Bay, man. I miss those guys, man. Yeah, just want to thank you, like I said before, man. Just thank all the media guys, man. Hidden Gems, LJ, you guys, T-Page, like, yo, y'all putting the UFC on the map, man. It's like that's what we've been missing, man, for a couple years, yo. And then I think with you guys back in the fold, it's really help excel PSAL football, man. And I think PSAL football is in a good place. I'm an old school guy, so with these divisions, I didn't like it at first, but now I see that, it's a good thing, man. It's starting to, like the other states got divisions, and it's working out, man. So I think the PSAL is in a good place. I heard Coach Lambert on earlier, and he's right, man. I think we're making good strides, man, to where all the divisions are competitive, and you can look. You don't got to just come and like, oh, all right, it's 4A guys, 2A, 3A guys. Like, yo, the whole PSAL is competitive, man, for every level.
And I love that you bring up, and the last thing I'll say is I love that you bring up the other states thing because, people talk about our picks and our list or whatever. Something that I was honestly offended in. I can't even say offended because I'm not a player, but I was embarrassed at. I don't know if you guys saw, I guess it was before the season, it was like an AI generated list, or there was some list of the top states in football. And New York literally was not on the list. Like they had like the District of Columbia on the list. They didn't have New York on the list. And I was just like, wow, that's crazy. And I know, me and Mac, we talk all the time. Mac has been out of state and seeing how things are out of state and how things work. And listen, we're doing the best that we can. And listen, I don't know. Listen, if the AI don't want to put us on no list, fine. Like these players still, their efforts deserve to be on a platform. They deserve to walk into the lunchroom and people dap up, yo, Coop, yo, Britt, like, good job. I watched you on XYZ. I read your article. Like we know what that means to a 14, 15, 16-year-old, Yeah. So it's important. And forget the media stuff. All the things you do, again, it's the coaches too. Like, yeah, I'm the fun guy. I come in with the cameras. Jared comes in. Everyone wants to have fun. But, you guys do so much work. So shout out to the Bay.
Yo, you guys are invited to homecoming next year.
Yeah, you're still good, man. That's still valid.
Jared, come on, you gotta pull up this time.
Listen, that rate my plate segment.
We'll blame Mac for the setup, man. He could have did a better presentation.
Definitely, before we go,
he was just trying to get you fed, Dre. That's it, man. He was just trying to get you fed.
Sandwich on, somebody said it's a salad, and then somebody else commented, "Where's the salad? Is in the sandwich."
No, we have to make that a yearly thing. Like rate my plate. Like, and honestly, maybe we should do listen, every homecoming, rate my plate.
Every homecoming, you gotta get a plate,
do
man.
that joint was hilarious. If you know, you know. Yo, listen, guys, salute. You gotta give love to the 2A. So appreciate y'all, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
All
you
right,
guys.
thank you, man.
How I kick you guys out of here, man? I ain't even.
We gonna leave.
Yo, shout out to the Bay, man. So let's move on to the 2A. We didn't have this marketed. We did not have this marketed, but he was very kind of him to show up with a last-minute invite.
Let's go.
To the head coach of the 2A champions, William C. Bryant. Coach Vin, man. What's going on, man?
What's up, everyone?
There he is.
Thank you. It's been a great night, great day today. Took off work, had to just
Well
take it all
deserved,
in, you
well
know what I mean?
deserved.
Yeah. So it's been, great night taking it all in, great whole day. So appreciate you guys having me on here. And, definitely shout out to the FJM staff. I was up in the stands for that game, talking to Coach Youssef. And, it's nice to see them just put it all together on the field. Shout out to Coach Perlo, too. He beat us up last year. So, shout out those guys.
Well, Jared, I'll let you lead the way with this one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was obviously special playoff run. We got some of your players in the chat right now. And I have to say, because I've done a ton of post-game interviews just in general, and listen, what your players were saying about you specifically, about how much you mean to them, and just they really just kept on mentioning how selfless everyone in the program is. If you could kind of just talk about that mentality you guys have.
Yeah, it's just we've just been building guys from the start, from their freshman year. We got no JV program over here, so it's they're spending their whole high.
Wow. Okay, the coaches
He
freeze up.
He froze.
Yeah, we'll give the coach a second. No JV program though. That's pretty interesting. So they all play on varsity. So coach, yeah.
Wow, yeah, and they didn't have the biggest roster as well.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. So I guess everyone plays on varsity. That's pretty interesting. So while coach is getting a second to come back, first, I mean, the first player I want to highlight, and I'm sorry to kind of steal his thunder, but Raekwon Daniels. Jared, was he as advertised or what?
It's the athleticism that kid has, man. It's special. The fact that they tasked him with, hey, you're gonna have to throw the ball today. He's 6'2", 280 pounds. Throw the ball in the biggest high school game of his career. And he threw a dot downfield. He was running the ball. He was blocking, making tackles. It's unbelievable.
Sorry, coach. I didn't mean to. I was trying to maximize.
Maybe I move closer to the door, see if that's I'm out in Whitestone. There's service out here.
That's good. I like
Kind of
that.
bad. Yeah, sorry about that.
So I can see you in the background of the studio bigger. I didn't know it was going to bring you on right away. Sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
No. So we were just talking about Raekwon Daniels, and how about you take it away for us, man?
Oh yeah, I mean Raekwon, he came up from North Carolina 2 years ago, and players like Raekwon are just not found in New York City, and they don't stick around at programs like Bryant. We brought him over to the About You camp last spring, and we had coaches from the 4A talking to him, saying, "Hey, come on over here," and he stuck around with us, and we just used Raekwon everywhere possible on the fields. We try to make sure that we're utilizing every single ounce of his athletic ability, and you saw that yesterday. You can see it every week. We're moving him at guard, tackle, running back, quarterback, everything. So Raekwon is just like, and he just loves the workload. He even played hurt for that game. He banged up his knee a bit in the second quarter, so he could have made those throws later on after the injury, but that knee was slowing him down, and he didn't say a word about it. After the game was when we find out. So he played that whole game hurt. So that's just the type of person it is, where he won't even tell us the type of injuries he's dealing with just to finish the game.
Jared.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, and it was really special to see him out there, and it felt like, because also when I talked to some of your guys, like a lot of them were like kind of banged up, but just fought
Yeah.
through it and finished the job. And it's kind of crazy because it was a close game. It was 16-16, so to be banged up towards the end, how do you think your group was able to separate and get that win?
Just sticking to what the game plan was against Eagle, and that's just run behind our three big boys like when we can, and that's Raekwon Daniels, Hussein Mbappe, Atbuja, and Jason Feaster. Those three guys are really just the main pieces where we would run behind, and we felt that those three big boys matched up with any three big boys in the 2A. And, if we could run to a side behind those three guys, we're going to win that matchup every time. And we should get positive yards every time, and we'd like to do it at an empty the last two games because we just didn't want any traffic. And we noticed we were playing guys in man. And we figure if we go empty, we spread these guys out and just, run against an empty box with our three big boys, we win every time. And that's kind of what happened when we ran the ball.
And Coach, we like to, obviously this, we like to have a lot of fun on this podcast. So Coach Pierre, I'm gonna give you a chance to hide right now. I have to, just talk about that game real quick against Eagle 3, just because, obviously a lot of people doubted you guys going into it. Us obviously being some of those people. Yeah, we put the hands up already. And but listen, you guys were able to, win that game, which was, huge for your program. Yeah, if you could just take me. I'm just joking, Pierre. Yeah, but yeah, if you could just take me through that game and how you guys were, just able to do it again, and if you could just tell the people.
No, shout out Eagle Queens. That was a game that like we knew we had to be, as locked in as possible. And the first thing that we knew we had to stop was Jet. They had number 5 coming in Jet all season, scoring on touchdowns on that Jet sweep play all season. So we made an adjustment to shift a man over, and we put Mehdi Kabesi as the outside linebacker on that Jet side, and he made a couple stops. If they made an adjustment where they went from Jet to bubble more often, so Mehdi was still on that wide side playing 5 in open space and making the play most of the times, getting off his blocks. And we had Edwin Abreu stepping up big, on their running back out in the flat. So they like to just attack the outside a ton. So we just had 2 really good stoppers in open space in Edwin Abreu and Mehdi Kabesi early in that game before he got hurt that were able to stop 5 and 6 in open space. And, that's some of the things that helped us win that game. And, the plan was to put Raekwon Daniels on 55 on Eagle. And, that's their best guy. So we wanted to put our best on their best all game. So no matter where he was, we tried to line up Raekwon on 55 to just see if we can win by taking 55 out the game. So, that's some of our game plans. Protect the outside, take 55 out the game. And, them seeing our zone is I thought it was a different look from them because they were just seeing man every game. So coming out in zone was just something that I felt like kind of like threw their quarterback off because last time we played them we didn't have Mehdi Kabesi or Jason Feaster, one of our bigger boys, and we still were able to almost pick off their quarterback twice. Once we did secure the pick, and then we almost took it to the house. So it's just I feel like zone is just something that they weren't seeing as often as they were compared to man.
So if you don't mind me jumping in here, Jared, let's just throw the X's and O's out for a second, Coach, right? I'm going to read off some of these numbers for Eagle Queens. 41-0, 26-0, 38-0. That was you guys. 31-6, 20-0, 41-0, 43-0. 35-0. For those of you who have not been paying attention, Eagle Queens has given up 1 touchdown all season. They actually gave up 2 touchdowns all season. Throwing out X's and O's, how do you get that belief into your players coming into a game like that?
By just telling them, exactly what we needed to do to win and practicing it every single day. Like actually going nuts on them, running scout and overemphasizing attacks to the outside on defense. And then on offense, actually the game plan was I stole a play from FJM because I studied the FJM championship game like nonstop. And, actually at the 52-minute mark and 25 seconds, you see FJM, they ran like, out of a tight, they run a mesh out of a tight formation. And that was our first play of the game, right? I was like, that worked at that moment. Let's use it. So, and I told Coach Youssef that like, I saw that at that mark, you guys beat him. And, we were able to just run mesh a bit against their man coverage when we wanted to run pass. But, that's exactly kind of like what helped Lorenzo score. We tried to just have him match up with whoever they want to put on him. And he's one of the best receivers in the two-way, if not the city. You know what I'm saying? Like 7 total touchdowns, tied for lead leaguer, 9 total touchdowns because he had 1 rushing, 1 on defense. And then in the playoffs, he legged the two-way with 5 touchdowns. Lorenzo Lopez just been going crazy this season, so it's just guys like that where we want to match up with their best and see who could win in one-on-ones. You know what I mean?
Coach.
Yeah.
Let me not say Coach. Jerry, he got the timestamp absolutely correct, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just watched.
They do their studying,
Yeah,
man.
Oh my God, you coaches are unbelievable.
That's impressive. Wow. That's cool,
Dude, that
actually.
mesh play was like it's there, and we also ran it against this just yesterday. We ran it, so we got open. Just Raekwon, he just couldn't make the throw. He just overthrew Lorenzo a little bit, but like the play was there, and I was like, "Yo, FJM, shout out to the designs. Why not just use what works already?"
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. No, it's impressive stuff. Wait, sorry to jump in front of you, Dre. Just real quick with Coach again, like, because Coach Danny mentioned it with your game. He was like, the Bryant crowd beforehand was awesome, like loud, a lot of pride. I got to interview your principal too, who was there, which was really cool. Just so much school pride on that day. So to like, do it and you see everyone like celebrating. What was that environment like?
Oh man, it was awesome. Not just for Bryant, just for like Northern Queens as a whole. Like Northern Queens gets no love. Like us, LIC, Infotech, like us 3, programs. Like we actually took on this season. Harris Lakash, he started volunteering for us, and he's the last person to win a championship for LIC in 2007 for Northern Queens. And that's who I'd have played against. I played for Bryant from 04 to 07. So me and him were rivals, and now we're coaching together. You know what I mean? And it was nice to get coach the first championship since 07 in the Northern Queens area, which was last won by like Long Island City High School. So, shout out Coach Lakash, but, all the fans that came through, all the alumni that came through, my coach, Coach Brosnan and Coach Hernandez were in the stands. It was just a whole dope vibe out there that like just all of Queens came out to Brooklyn and really showed love. Alumni showing love from the stream, from you guys streaming it. We getting a ton of message from you guys streaming it. So shout out to you guys also. So it's just a whole great, community really build up that, we accomplished with this championship that like, Queens, even that my assistant coach sending me the Reddit that people are talking about in Astoria. So it's awesome, man. It's really awesome. And you guys just showing us love. So it's been great, man.
Yo, listen, man, the one player that we have to talk about, especially in that game against boys and girls, is Lorenzo Lopez, man.
Yeah, man.
From the head tap to open it up to the pick 6 right before halftime. Just talk about him as a player.
I mean, it starts with him stepping up at quarterback, like just you guys were thinking it was Mehdi Kabesi running the ball in the beginning of the game, but it wasn't. It's all good. but you know,
I mean, I was prepared to apologize to Lorenzo.
nah,
You guys
yeah.
completely tripped me up on that.
Yeah, just because Mehdi was banged up and we wanted him out there so badly, but like we had to prepare all week as if he couldn't go. So I was like, I want to run the quarterback at an empty, and now it's going to be Enzo because we got to run behind our three moose. So it's like if it's got to be the next man up, and that's Enzo after Mehdi. So and that's the type of guy he is, where he just slips on the wrist coach, and he's like he's the communicator now. But he was able to just take over, and then when Mehdi couldn't throw, we were like, who's the next best? And it was Raekwon. And the passes he was throwing this week at practice was just insane, like 50-yard bombs with ease. So we're like, why not just bomb it? And we came out with two backs in the backfield. Let's just protect with 7, send 2 guys up the sidelines, pick one and bomb it. Just don't overthink it. You know what I mean? And it worked out. So, that's what we did. And Enzo just on that one-on-one, like anyone in the 2A, he's got 80% chance to win, in my opinion. Not even, any kid in the 2A. So that's someone that I'm putting my money on every time. So that's the type of player Lorenzo is. And his hands are just elite. Like his hands are glue. They're actually elite. So yeah.
Yeah, and just talk about like your opponent. You're going up against a legendary program in boys and girls. Coach Clive has been there for like a long time and has had so much success. And having to stop number 4 Bryce Moreno, number 3 Haran. I know you guys had the upper hand in the first matchup, but they really brought it to you guys in this game. So it's so hard to beat a team twice. So just talk about them and what they brought to the table.
We knew their run game, and I had found out that they were coming in and unbalanced to try and get an extra lineman out there to get some guys out in front for their backs. And we were down Mehdi on defense. He couldn't play. He tried the first play. He got blocked by actually Moreno, and he told me, he's like, I can't go defense. So, we had guys step up. Jeremiah Torres stepped up at corner, and he made at least 5 huge plays. Edwin Abreu stepped up at outside linebacker, number 28. And, he just went crazy that game. Hussein Abuja on defense going crazy. Enzo and Lorenzo Lopez and Jason Feaster holding down the middle. By the second half, they got it together. We started sending all 8 up the box because we were like, let's let them pass on our secondary and just try and take away the run. Let's just send the house, if that's what we got to do. And that's what started working. So, Raekwon being banged up a little kind of helped hurt us in the box, but other guys had to step up because, if he was at full health, you would have seen him make way more plays in the backfield. But he was just a little banged up.
Yeah, and I actually did want to move on to number 77, Hussein. He was all over the field in that day. Talk about like him in the middle of that defense.
I mean, he is just the most selfless guy on the team. Like, does the dirty work. Like, the dirty work plays that not a single stat gets put on for a guy is Hussein. That's Mbappe. That's what we call him. I mean, that's the type of guy he is, man. Most of the time, if he's not making the tackle, he's taking on double teams every time. We moved him over to end this year, and he's just been wreaking havoc at end. He's taking on double teams. He's forcing backs to take a wider angle and helping our outside linebackers and corners make plays. So, he really just does what it takes in order to, win. And he's a force with one of our, blocking in our run game. He's always either taking out the DT or kicking out the end. And, in power and GT, he's our kick out guy. Our counter is one of our best plays. So he's just one of our dogs, man. That's a real dog on this team.
Jared?
I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just so interesting to me because, like, a lot of these kids, because you guys were in the 3A last year and then moved down to the 2A, but, like, you brought back some talent. A lot of these kids that we've been talking about, seniors, right?
Yeah, Mehdi, Raekwon, and Adam, another receiver for us. He's just, those 3 are leaving. We got Eric on the line leaving, Gerald's leaving, Brandon's leaving. He's an end for us. So, we're losing. Lorenzo's a junior, luckily, So,
wow, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, so you'll definitely see him be running the ball and catching the ball next year for us,
Yeah, that's really fun. But when you look at the senior class, just in general, like, how proud of you are you for them and how special is it?
I mean, yeah, definitely got to just give a big shout out to Medi, 4-year player, came in as a freshman. The minute he walked in at orientation, he was just coming up to me, questioning me about my offense. And, here at Bryant, we rarely get kids that play Pop Warner. Like at Bryant, we have to teach these kids how to play football. So that's why, you've never heard of us, because it's usually a work in progress at Bryant where, we got to work hard on guys to get them to learn the game. So, but, this year we got, transfer in from, Cardinal Hayes. We got Jason Feaster. He played for Cardinal Hayes. We got Raekwon up from North Carolina. So we had some kids that were able to play football and guide kids. They were like coaches out there on the fields, because we don't have a big staff. So, the players were so invested that, that's what makes this team good, that the accountability within each other, helping us out, So I try to consider myself a player's coach. So, it's out there like we're all out there working hard together type of thing,
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, Coach. So we'll wrap it up soon, but I was looking at my notes, but I'm just gonna leave my notes because it's just so awesome to hear you talk about WC Bryant and how this was the year that you guys put yourselves on the map. I
Yeah,
had
man.
my hands up. I said Eagle Queens is in the championship game. It was a foregone conclusion. Y'all said, watch this. And that kind of attitude has you guys in the same conversation as Monsignor Farrell and Iona Prep to me. Honestly, if you look across New York, and we all do, I'm not as tapped in with upstate, you guys have one of the biggest wins. And not only that, you go get it done on the biggest stage. Talk about that feeling when the clock hit 0 and you guys were champions.
It was great, man. It was great knowing that guys knew they had to step up because we were coming in hurt. Enzo going down in the game, Eric going down in the game. Just like guys just knowing that they have to dog up. And it's an amazing feeling that we had each other's backs out there and, played to the last whistle, come down to 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It's a tie game that, we knew we had to just be the better team when it mattered most. And that's when it really just hit me the most, that Medi came in hurt, telling me, yo, give me the ball. Give me the ball. And I know he's hurt. And he takes over in the fourth quarter because that's what we all wanted. We said at practice this week, Medi, you are taking this last knee at the end of the game. And that's exactly what we did. You know what I mean? So just trying to like preach what we want and seeing it like culminate and seeing it actually come into fruition is just so crazy. You know what I mean? So that's just something I'm so grateful for, that the things we preach during the week actually happen on the weekends on game day. So that's just something that I'm super grateful for.
Last question. First of all, thank you for coming on so late. Appreciate Jared for contacting you. Last words you want to give to Owl Nation.
Hey man, Owl Nation, just send us some talent, man. We need talent every year. Like, shout out to Queens Falcons, Bayside Raiders, anyone in Queens playing football, Pop Warner football. Hey man, just the door's open. Shoot us a DM and just let's bring the talent in for next year. Let's keep moving.
Listen, Coach, when I made that post on my story, I don't know if you saw it. I said that I streamed in 3 boroughs. It wasn't 4. I was missing the Queensboro. Like, let's.
Yeah, man. Queens is not getting the respect they used to get. So it's just trying to keep them on the map. Coach Jones been holding it down at Eagle, but we're just trying to keep the Queens in the conversation every year.
And a 2-way championship will help, man.
Yeah,
Coach.
All right, thank you. Have a great night.
Oh man.
All right, take care.
See you, Coach.
Wow, I love that. That was great.
Unreal.
What a guy, man.
It's a great story. It's a great story.
Yeah, you guys wrote an article. Yeah, of course. Did you write the article on the Eagle Queens win?
Yeah, I did that one, and I did the championship. Obviously,
Yeah.
I was just like,
those articles like next to that trophy. I mean, the context,
I know.
context is so important. Like that is
Brian Stunn's Eagle. Yeah, like I started the Eagle article with literally, and I counted their non-league games. I was like, Eagle Academy Queens has outscored opponents 366-6 this season. That's like one that I haven't, and I cover Long Island high school football really closely, where there's been a lot of dominant teams and divisions are probably a little bit better than them, and no one's reached that, at least from what I can remember. 6 points in an entire season you let up. It's crazy. Garden City doesn't even do that.
Jared, I didn't even realize that until I looked at it just now. I was like, wait,
It's
what?
crazy. You let up 6 points a whole season, dude, and they get stunned in the semifinals. It really is nuts, Marvin. Yeah, it's like I haven't seen a team actually do that before.
Huge shout out to Queens. Huge shout out to Coach Vin. Really appreciate you coming on, man. I think it's just gonna be us for.
That is true, Pierre. No, you guys have been doing a great job, man.
Yeah. Also, before I move on here, listen, like all jokes aside, like huge shout out, huge love to Coach Pierre, man. That's one of my
Yeah. It's all jokes
one of our
stuff
biggest
happens.
supporters, man. Listen, selfishly, I wanted Eagle Queens to be in the 3A. Yes, I did. But you guys held it down for your players. Just like Jared just read off that stat. Whatever division is incredible. I just really appreciate you for being on, being a supporter. For real, man. So really appreciate it. All right, we have one more game, and like I said, it's just going to be me and Jared closing it out for this one. I really, really enjoyed this game between Patrice and East Harlem Pride. 14-6. Patrice with 2 touchdowns unanswered in the first half. I'll go first on this one if you don't mind, Jared. Michael Giordano.
What a game, man. What a game he had, dude. Unbelievable.
I mean,
it's
2
crazy.
interceptions. He picks up the fumble to go into the end zone. They're up 7-6 at the time, but that touchdown essentially sealed it for them. His second touchdown was in the red zone. Yes, that's number 84, Rel. That's number 84. I mean, what an unreal athlete he's been all season long, and to step up like that in a championship game, it's just incredible. You want to talk about him, Jared?
Giordano, it's oh, it's funny. No, sorry, I was reading Pierre's comment. But yeah, listen, when it comes to Patrice and Giordano, it's just to have a game like that on this stage defensively is rare for one. And he had a special game. Like East Harlem has a good offense, some good talent. We'll talk about Cody in a little bit. And how good EHP is, but to have those 2 picks, to have the scoop and score, to be down 6-0 at the half and still which they have not trailed at the half all season, to really just keep that composure and just know we're right there. It was all very, very impressive. And let me tell you, man, Michael Giordano, he's a baller. He showed it, and it was very fun to see.
Yeah, and a huge shout out to number 7, Jamel Kamara. He was the one who forced that fumble at the end of the game. And Patrice, I mean, it's just such an accomplishment. Undefeated in the 1A. And just like you said, they faced their most adversity in the biggest moment, and they stepped up. And also, I just want to give a huge shout out to number 0, Joshua. He was a player to watch, and he was definitely as advertised. They were going to Joshua on the ground a lot. He was great.
Yeah, 34 carries. They were feeding him, and listen, I know it was a 14-6 game. He had 198 yards rushing. He was moving the chains consistently. They just didn't finish a couple drives. Of man, Joshua, what a game! He's been a special athlete all season long. I got to talk to him and Michael. 2 great kids, but also just 2 great performances in this game. So it's really, it was really special to see there.
Yeah, and then just to move on to the other side of it, like East Harlem Pride. First of all, getting your get back. You lost to Mount Haven week 1. I'm sure you've been waiting for that game all year long. You knock off Mount Haven in the semifinals, earn your way to this championship. And listen, you talk 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. I really enjoyed this game. It was competitive. I thought the football was a good level. And I know you were about to speak on it. I mean, number 2, Cody. Sheesh.
Oh, he's a great player, man. He
I
really
mean, you
is.
talk about you take a jet sweep like 60, 70 yards to the crib, to the Baja.
That play
I
was sick.
mean,
That play was
he
sick.
literally cross fields like, oh my god! I was like, wow, this is an athlete. Your team is up 6-0. Later in the game, it's a 4th and 1. Guess who gets the stop in the red zone? It's Cody. Of course, it's unfortunate that your team couldn't get the W. But I thought Cody was absolutely tremendous. I want to give another shout out to number 50, Charles Hudson. I mean, he's one of the big guys in the middle of that defense. I kept calling his name out over and over and over again. He was tremendous. So everyone at East Harlem Pride should be very, very proud of themselves. Of course, it's not the results you wanted. And I'm really happy. Like, the 1A is always kind of hard for us to read. We kind of like to let it settle in a bit. And I really do feel like the cream really rose to the top. And this was a really great championship game. The numbers are good too. I should just set the numbers. Let me go take a look at the numbers for this game, actually. These numbers, I think these numbers were better than the 3A game. Let me go double check that. Where did I send that email? Here we go. Yeah, I mean, it was just under the 3A game, peaked at 432 people, 432 top peak concurrence. It actually has the same number of views as the 2A game. So, Patrides and the Staten Island community, up in the uptown community really, really supported their guys, got the job done. Huge congrats to Patrides on finishing the job on an undefeated season. And of course, I just want to jump back to Patrides real quick, because cannot forget to give a shout out to number 3, Jaden Brown. He proved to be the game-tying, game-winning touchdown. It was a great snag too. Good throw for
David Lee. Nice pass.
So huge shout out to you guys, and huge congratulations to Coach Dave. Very, very well deserved. Anything else in this game, Jared?
Nah, I mean, just congrats to Patrides. A lot of really good players over there. They stood the course the whole time. So congrats to them. Congrats to East Harlem Pride for making the championship. These are two, really good programs. So it was special to see 1A title. Great. So it was a lot of fun, man. I'm just kind of sad that this is the season finale of New York football.
I was about to say, Kim in the chat, you're hilarious.
Yeah, Kim. Been seeing Kim all night. Appreciate the the kind words and the love, though, for sure.
Jared, another season, man.
Man, it just keeps getting better and better each time, man. It's so much fun. Bittersweet, though. Or at least this moment right now, that's for sure.
We've been a staple every Monday. You can count at 7:15, maybe 7:17 some weeks.
Yeah.
You can count on us being here. It's we give ourselves extra homework, man. We try to do our best to look over all the stats, because we know that you guys clip up what we say, you put it on your stories, you tell us how wrong we are. But in the end, we know that you guys appreciate it. Like I said earlier, me and Jared were both athletes in New York as well. So we know, we have an idea of what's going through your head and what you guys would appreciate. So that's exactly, why we do the work we do. We're hoping they could continue, man. Jared?
Yeah, thank you guys for just being in the chat the whole season, every single Monday night, being active, being supportive. The
When
Syracuse
are the
off.
Syracuse games?
That'd be awesome.
Are they this weekend?
It's probably this weekend, man. Yeah, but
Let me know
yeah,
if
no,
Somers is
unfortunately,
up
I'm
there.
not going to the
I'm
dome.
curious. Go ahead.
But yeah, no, it's just this is something that I look forward to every single Monday. I felt like we've just developed an amazing community. And New York City football, man, I love it. I love everyone involved in it, and yeah, man, I can't wait for it to keep rising.
Can make the right predictions or pick Sheepshead. Say the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. If you know, you know. Yo, man. Yo, much love. Listen, much love to all of the Sage members. I should have said that at the beginning. You know, I'm gonna leave one of the member only messages tomorrow. I should have did it today. Today was crazy. I was just doing a lot of stuff today. But yeah, you know, it looks like we won't be able to continue the member only stuff. We're gonna figure out a way to, you know, continue doing that. So, you know, unless you really want to continue supporting, you know, Sage, you know, the only difference with the member only is that you're going to be having the custom emojis. We will continue to update the custom emojis for basketball season. You know, that is literally tomorrow.
Wow, man, you got no break.
I will not be commentating, but fingers crossed. No, my two commentators are Ray and Shaq are going to take care of that.
That's good.
But yeah, man, I'm sure you're hearing our voices, man. It's been a long season. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's like, it feels normal at this point. Like, I remember last year when we came to this point, I think it was me and Mac. I think you had to drop off early on the last episode. I remember it was just me and Mac.
Oh, yeah. I had a little farewell.
Yeah. And, you know, last year I was like, wow, like, we actually made it. Like, this year, in a way, I'm almost ready for next week, in a way. Like, it's like, it's almost been such commonplace. But you know, I hope no one takes it for granted. Like, doing, you know, 25 live streams, you know, countless boroughs, you know, multiple games at the same time, then coming back to analyze everything on a Monday, giving out your opinions and stuff like that. You know, it's a ton of work. It's, you know, we watch a lot of film, and we'll do the, you know, the media all city pick. You know, that was a hit last year. We'll definitely bring that back. But, you know, it was very evident this year, the growth and the appreciation from everyone. You know, I'm sure Jared could say the same. Like, every time we walked into an arena, someone wants to dap us up, you know, wants us to, you know, talk about this, talk about that. It was really incredible. So I'll give Jared the final words, and I'll sign it out.
Yeah, just another wow, no, I can't believe the season went by this quick, dude. I'm just looking at my computer like December 1st. I'm like, wow, already. That's crazy. But yeah, just another huge shout out to, honestly, all the student athletes that were just, you know, a part of the journey this year, especially the seniors that completed their high school career. It's been an absolute pleasure, you know, covering you guys, being able to you know, be a part of these amazing moments. High school football, something so special. So, you know, I'm glad, you know, a lot of kids, you know, made some amazing memories. And yeah, man, best of luck to, you know, your next chapter. And for those coming back, man, yeah, can't wait for the off season. You know, we like to stay active. And yeah, shout out to the chat, man. It's this is a special thing we got going on. I'm excited to continue it.
Season 2 of New York Football Talk. We signing out, man. We appreciate everybody, man. Tap in for basketball season. Make sure you keep the notifications on. We'll be back to do the all media selection show. Jared, my brother, appreciate you, all the work. The most videos in New York Football Talk history. You skipped out on the final exam.
Said, nah, I ain't
You my
taking it.
brother too, man. So that's love.
Yeah, always.
We'll see you guys in the next football season, but make sure you stay tuned for basketball as well.